Friday, you bastard.
Couldn't hear you. That music was too loud.
I guess Miguel forgot how to run the board.
It's been a long time.
He's running it in Spanish.
There's a marvelous place I know where all the wealthy people go. It's where royalty play polo, and that's what I like about Boca. Down where egos are never small. Down where they say outroll, and every corner has a ball. And that's what I like about Boca. On golf course fees. Spend the day in Jewish bakeries. You should taste these delicacies. And that's what I like about Boca. Oh, please excuse our attitudes. In our BMWs, we find pleasure in being rude. And that's what I like about Boca. Watches, white shoes make us so obnoxious. If you're clean, we'll let you touch us, and that's what I like about Boca. Oh, we really don't care what you think. You see, our doo-doo doesn't stink. There's no coffee, only mocha, and that's what I like about Boca.
All right.
About Boca. It's a 10:02. I'll tell you what I like about Boca. I'm not there. That's what I like the best. In fact, that's what I love about South Florida, is that I'm not there. Anyway, it's 10:02 at QAM. Keep it a secret. We got Mad Dog at 2, the Power Hour. There is no Power Hour. I don't know why Clarence can't make out a schedule after all this time. You'd think with the money they're paying him, he could at least make a freaking schedule out. He's an idiot. Mad Dog from 2 to 5, because Humper is in Baltimore for the Preakness. We'll have Dave Johnson calling at 11 o'clock this morning here on this show for our preview of the Preakness. And then you got Geldy at 5 o'clock. All of these things. Don't ask me why. I guess nobody else is around for an hour. Marlin pregame is at 6:05. The Marlins at Tampa 6:49. Maybe they can beat them. They got beat 7-2 by the Pirates last night. And then game night with Ed Kaplan follows Marlins baseball. Wow, how'd you like to follow the Marlins baseball game?
Whatever.
So Chris is out today. I guess Chris thought he was going to be supporting Boca Brian. That's probably what it was all about.
Yeah, he's boycotting.
Because remember, we threatened to boycott if they didn't take care of that and get him paid. I mean, the guy's starving to death, and all the great stuff he's done.
Ain't no Port Sounds anymore.
So I think we'll play all Boca Brian bits today during the show.
All right.
That'll really frost that one guy. You know, the one guy, I think that guy croaked or something. Remember him?
Yeah.
That hated him. That's all he ever said. Boca Brian sucks. Get him off the air.
Yeah, I didn't believe a word of it either.
I beg your pardon?
I didn't believe a word of it. I thought he was just an agent provocateur. Nobody dislikes Boca Brian.
That is correct. Nobody with a sense of humor. But then again, there are many people in South Florida who have no sense of humor.
This is true.
Here's the result from yesterday's poll. Boy, there are a lot of people looking forward to my demise. I'll tell you that. 1,557 vote. On the day Neil croaks, what will be your response? Well, I have a lot of things to do and many things to purchase before I croak, so... oh.
Things to do?
Things to do. Oh, yeah, I got a lot of things to do, believe you me. I could draw you a picture of what they look like. Anyway... He died doing what he wanted to do, 432. Sounds like a wiener to me. I have no idea what that means. He was a lovely human being, blah, blah, blah. Who's in the will, 313? Who's in the will? If only you could know. I told George yesterday I'm going to take care of him a little bit. Not too much.
Whatever, it's all good.
Well, I mean, if I didn't have all these other people that I got to take care of, but I got to take care of the world, man.
We
are the world. That's me. Just a big-hearted old fag. He's in that big radio station in the sky, 211. He's macking on Jesus right now, 144.
Are you sure?
He died a free man, no wife, 124. He was adorable, 121. Holy moly, holy Moses, he was adorable. I'm going to tell you right now, anybody who calls me adorable, that person is really suspect. You know what I mean?
Huh?
In every possible way, anybody who would say that I'm adorable, that person is suspect. He was a rotten bastard, good riddance, 90. 5.7% of the audience say I'm a rotten bastard and I should only croak. Chubm and dreared. Well, isn't that sweet? That's a typical South Florida response. Boy, I sure miss him, 88. That was a late edition, and that almost caught. He was a rotten bastard. And then I know he's up there looking down at us, 34. Very, very silly people. Well, they probably didn't know what else to vote. 1,557 votes. on what I thought was, a reasonable poll, but not spectacular. Today's, I think, is pretty good, although the number of votes isn't all that sensational because Chris isn't here to write it down in his loose leaf binder. We got Miguel here today. He's going to write it down in Espanol. See? Oh, there's that drooling yahoo, Lindsey Graham on CNN. A drooling yahoo.
Y'all come back.
One thing about the Deep South, man, I don't know, is it lack of education? Is it like the inbred factor? What is it about the Deep South?
Inbred.
So many
Inbred factor. And they're
slow and ignorant
from the Irish
people. And, of course, those two go hand in hand, slow and ignorant, Y'all come back now, I hear. Anyway, I just got this thing, and that's probably why I'm so far up north. Maybe I'll wind up north to Alaska with Johnny Horton. You don't have to play it again.
Good.
Why? You had a hard time finding that the first time.
One
thing about you, though, when you came up yesterday with I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter with Billy Williams, the Billy Williams Quartet, whatever it was, I almost fell off the chair, almost peed in my pantaloons. That was sensational. I'm going to sit. You don't have to play it again. That's there it is. See, now you'll hear it all the time.
Right. Sit right down and write myself a letter.
Well, good, because nobody else wants to read it anyway. Billy, you're probably dead.
I got it by Fats Waller, too. How do you like that?
Do you? Well, let's hear that a little bit.
Just to cover
Fats
my
Waller
ass.
he was a blues man. He preceded Fats Domino.
That was a Boca Brian suggestion, too.
What's that?
That I should get it by Fats Waller as well. So I got it.
Oh, listen to that. Sounds really...
It's like old people skating
like
music,
Scratchy 78 or something.
Wooden floor roller skating.
Yeah, he was a great pianist.
Is this just an instrumental?
It sounds like it to me. I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to sing now. I will see. Keep it going.
I will.
661 votes on today's poll, which is not very auspicatory, to be honest with you. That's not kind of response.
What'd you call me?
Show.
You call me a spicatory?
Spicatory. Well, the two of you. I'm outnumbered today. I got Miguel and Jorge.
It's a spicatorium.
No spicity Inglés. What's the worst thing you've ever gotten sucked into is our poll today.
Yeah.
And I'm just reading the result. I'm not making any editorial comments.
I will.
It would not be a good idea.
I will.
Yeah, I bet you will, but off the air, please. 665 votes. Worst thing you ever got sucked into. Getting married, 208. That seems to be... I sure hope that there are a lot of people out there listening to the sound of my voice right now as I'm making sounds in my mouth. Getting married, 208. And Joe voted for that very enthusiastically. The worst thing, the biggest mistake. I think he may sing any second here. Come on.
Very good.
How'd you like that? Never heard that before in my life, but you could hear the hook coming, Get the hook. A letter. Oh, he's bad. No wonder he's dead. Get rid of him. Getting married was the worst thing, 208. There are some happy married people. I'm sure we'd have to find a search party, but there's some.
Lots of people pretending to be.
A religion, 123. My job, 84. Oh, brother, this one. Whoa. Doing this kind of heavy-duty work for this kind of money? Supporting the Iraq War. And I'm not going to keep reading that thing in parentheses. I don't like... Whose poll is this? Charlie B? It's okay. It's a good poll, but... I was before I was against it. I was for it. I don't know, 78.
Yeah, whatever.
The stock market before it crashed, 73. I might have tabulated on that. MySpace, 27. The worst thing they ever got sucked into. I'd say that's one of the best things I ever got sucked into. It didn't start too good, as Miguel would know and would admit. You damn near killed me, man.
Sorry.
And now we have 1,392 friends on there, some of whom are really fine people and good friends. And aren't you pleased about that you've enhanced my life and enriched my existence on the planet?
You have no idea.
No, you have no idea. I'm telling you. The Atkins diet, 26. Now, how's George doing with his Atkins diet? I did have ice cream yesterday, I have to admit. What?
I'm doing great.
My buddy Zisco is going to be very upset with me. I'm definitely, I promise, I will not have any ice cream today or over the weekend. I promise.
I did have some of the low-carb Greenfield pasta the other day, but that's the only carb that I've
that's okay.
Myself.
I mean, I think it's phony as hell. I mean, your blood sugar still goes up. As a matter of fact, your blood sugar goes up over a period of hours more so than usual.
Right. I just had a tiny portion.
Well, you don't know because you don't take your blood sugar, but I do.
I listen to you.
Being the old fat diabetic queen that I am, and it's just I don't know. I ran out of it. I had a ton of it. I had 2 cases of it, and I ate it over a period of time, and it ran out. I didn't get no more. Although I would like some macaroni and cheese. Oh, man! And of course, they do make the macaroni. Besides, they make several different products. I love people who say, "Well, pasta's all pasta. It's just different shapes." And yeah, there's a lot of other things like that too. Anyway, what's the poll? The Atkins diet, 27. Going to a college or grad school, 23. And joining the military, 23. Well, at least they're still around to admit it anyway. Out of 672 votes. I think we're going to be hard-pressed to make 1,000 today. And you want to know why? I think this is that time. I've been saying this for quite a while because we had the early Easter and Pesach, and a lot of people have bailed out of Florida. But on top of that, starting right now, it's the May 18th, El 18 de Mayo. See, I don't like that. I'm probably in French too, but I know the French numbers after.
The French numerical system is a nightmare. It's the worst in the world.
But I'm talking about Italian and Spanish. I mean, you get to a certain point, and there are words like 14 and 15, and then 16. I mean, I don't like that. 10 plus 6.
Same
what
thing
is
in
that?
English. What are you talking about?
16.
Right?
No, it's one word. It's not 10. It's not 10 plus 6. What are you talking about?
All right.
Same thing in English. 10 plus 7.
Yeah, that's how you know where you're at.
What the hell are you talking about? No wonder they want to deport your kind.
Right.
Whatever your kind is. Just troublemaker. That's what I'm talking about. So we got 672 votes on there. Dave Johnson be called at 11 o'clock. That'll kill a few minutes. Oh, there you go again, Neil. It sounds like all you care about is when is 2 o'clock coming and Mandich is coming on so you can get out of there. Yeah, that's right. And I am going to take a call today, but it's only going to be Dave. And keep your eye peeled on that bat line when it gets to be around 11 o'clock. Because you know me, I'm old and senile and feeble, and the idea that plus I'm out of practice looking at that thing in the monitor. Because ordinarily I got it turned off anyway. I wonder what Miguel's take is on that. The fact that I'm not taking any calls all this week and probably next week and a long time from now.
I have no take.
What?
I have no take.
What do you mean by that? Come on, I can handle it. Let's hear it.
What do you want? The calls suck. What do I want you to take them for?
Okay, that's enough. Don't have to embellish it. You don't have to go beyond that. There are no calls. You can't complain about the calls on this radio station or on any talk station anymore. There are no calls. Maybe 2 or 3 a year. But is it really worth going through 85,000 to get one? That might be fairly amusing. Not like fall down and pee in your pants amusing. Certainly not as amusing as some things that we can play like.
Ain't no fart sounds anymore.
Like that. And we're not going to play that more than 50 times today, by the way.
It's Fatwa Friday, you bastards.
Ain't no fart sounds anymore.
All right.
Ain't no fun sounds like before. Ain't no fart sounds anymore. 'Cause some stinky corporate whore named Joyce took them away. Can't say now. All because of some bitch cow. Just to bring the ratings down. She don't want Neil around, and that's why she took them away.
Absolutely.
She blows, 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 you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, she blows, 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 she stinks, 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 she blows, she blows, she blows, she blows, she stinks, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow. Ain't no fart sounds anymore since that yeast-infected whore Skanky Joyce took them away. Skanky Joyce took them away.
Oh, man, I tell you, I get emotional. I get weepy when I hear that. I got to play that at least 200-300 more times today. And that's the genius. That's Chickeneck, a.k.a. Boca Brian, who's having such a bitch of a time getting these cheap, miserable bastards to pay him. Boy, it's just unbelievable. And I wish the hell he'd leave me alone about it all right now. Are you positive it's all straightened out? Is that what you promised me this morning?
Clarence said that it was all straightened out by the end of the day yesterday. So, he's going to get paid eventually.
Oh, well, if you believe in evolution, chickens are going to pee someday, too, but I don't think we'll be here to see it or to step in it. Wow. How do you like that? He's going to get paid eventually. Hold your breath, Chickeneck. Take a deep breath. Inhale now. Like that. We'll let you know when to let it out. 694 votes. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's pretty slim and grim, and that's because, I started to say before and I interrupted myself, because I think this is the beginning, because next weekend, and it's a good thing I looked at that calendar, man, because, you know, this Monday is Victoria Day. It's a holiday weekend in Canada, eh? Now, don't you think I ought to get off Canadian holidays, too?
Yeah, whatever. Just get off.
Oh, I'm going to try all weekend. As hard as I can. But at any rate, Victoria Day on Monday. Now, I'll be here. But the following Monday, I will not be here because it's Memorial Day. Now, what are you going to be doing for Memorial Day besides working? That's about it, huh?
Working.
Now, do you have to work? You don't work on Memorial Day, do you, Miguel? Of course not. And nobody else will be either. Just Chris and George. Now, what about Josh Cordes? Maybe he can come in. In fact, I'm surprised that Chris didn't call Josh Cordes to have him come in today, but he knew if he did that and Josh came back and took his job one day, all the Josh fans would be out there picketing in the streets demanding that Josh be back full-time on the show. They just love him. I don't know what that's all about.
He's a good guy.
No, he is a good guy, and he does a fine job. Right. And when you're out there, boy, that one day you were sick, he was good. I don't want to get you nervous or anything, but boy, he was really good. And you know that because when I'm not there, you work with him, right?
Right.
And he's good
used
to play
anyway.
off of, so to speak. What?
Or used to.
What do you mean by that? Oh, that's right. Well, now you got Fat Chris to worry about. Don't be. Look, he's desperate. He's a good guy too.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's not Josh though.
Right.
I hope he's listening, but I'm sure he's not. Now, is he really sick today, or is he just screwing off on behalf of Boca Brian?
I don't know. He sounded sick in the text that he sent me.
What do you mean by that?
That's a joke. He sent me a text saying that he was sick.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can tell when you say he sounded sick and it's a joke. You can tell by the verbiage, man. I sent a lot of stuff that, believe me, is pretty sick. Because that's me, I'm sick.
Yeah, I know.
698. I bet if I click that thing one more time where it says view current there, it's 70. Oh, boy. 705. A nice chunk came in there that time. Look at that. Oh, man, right on my cheek. Don't you hate that when you put your finger on one nostril, you know? And you blow, and a big chunk comes flying out, and then you don't know where it went.
You blow, and you blow, and you blow, and you blow, and you blow.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And sometimes it's on your chin or on your cheek or
it happens
right
with all
on
kinds
your
of
shirt,
things sometimes.
Big, nasty booger, you know. Oh, man. And that proves right there there's no God. There's so many things to prove there's no God. It's just something people made up because they were scared of dying, you know. Oh, he's up there looking down on us. Well, he sure ain't doing much of a job, I'll tell you that. And that's what Paul Wolfowitz would say as he is spit shining his curly Q there on his head. Paul Wolfowitz, ending a furor over favoritism that blew up into a global fight over American leadership, announced his resignation as president of the World Bank last night after the bank's board accepted his claim that his mistakes at the bank were made in good faith. And you want to know why he resigned?
Because he's a crook.
Because they had enough votes to fire his ass, and they were going to fire him. So the Bush people got together. They said, oh, you better resign, Paulie. Paulie. Won't see him no more. The decision came 4 days after a special investigative committee of the bank concluded that he had violated his contract by breaking ethical and governing rules and arranging the generous pay and promotion package for Shaha Ali Riza, his companion, in 2005. What kind of a slimy bitch would consort with him, huh?
Slimy,
oh, my God.
Bitch.
Can you even begin to imagine that?
Did you see the pictures of her?
Yeah, she's nasty.
Yeah.
Not as nasty as he is, though. And when he was doing that thing with the comb there in Fahrenheit 9/11, that was just, another neocon. He's one of the people, him and Richard Pearl and a bunch of others, put the con in neocon. Bill Kristol, that whole bunch of fascists. The resignation effective June 30. About 30, man. Brought a dramatic conclusion to 2 days of negotiations between Wolfowitz and the bank board after weeks of turmoil. He assured us that he acted ethically and in good faith in what he believed were the best interests of the institution, and we accept that, said the board of directors in the statement issued last night. We also accept that others involved acted ethically and in good faith. Right. In a carefully negotiated statement, the bank board praised Wolfowitz for his 2 years of service, especially for his work in arranging debt relief and pressing for more assistance to poor countries, especially in Africa. They also cited Wolfowitz's work in combating corruption, a signature issue. Right. Wolfowitz's negotiated departure averted what threatened to become a bitter rupture between the U.S. and its economic partners at an institution established after WW2. The World Bank channels $22 billion in loans and grants a year to poor countries. Not, of course, to mention all the graft that gets put into people's pockets along the way. You know, anytime you got an institution like that that's handling billions of dollars, can you imagine if, here's $1 million over here, just found a couple million over here that fell on the floor, and so there's the Wolfowitz thing, and guess who's got an article here ripping him an ass and ripping the book? I just love it.
Doug Thompson.
Doug Thompson, Capitol Hill Blue.
Could it be?
Yeah, I bet you Miguel's not going to be too happy because I'm going to be doing a lot of reading today. Reading, although we do have Dave Johnson in there. Look at that. There's a phone call coming in from somebody so stupid they really think I'm going to take it. Ordinarily, I don't have that baby on. How could... Maybe Miguel will pick it up. Just see who it is, just for the hell of it, because I'm not going to put it on the air.
Okay.
Just pick it up and see... if it's like a real living... You're doing it awfully slowly, I'll tell you that.
Sorry, I have to do it.
Oh, you have to do it?
That's how it works.
No, you're putting it on the air. I don't want you on the air. Jesus, Scott, are you a crazy person or what?
Well, you forget how the studio is set up.
I don't care how that studio is set, man. You committed the cardinal sin, man. You're going to be punished for your sins. I'll tell you that right now. You better say 6 million Hail Marys right now.
I'll just leave.
Boy, that was
There's no easy way to pick the phone up in the other studio.
Okay, then forget about it. It was a bad suggestion. Okay, it was a bad idea.
Because of the way these studios are set up.
I see. Well, it sounds like a lame excuse to me. Sounds like more laziness to me.
And why do you want him to talk to those people
better
anyway?
you than me, though.
What did he ever do to
line
you?
9 is ringing. I can't imagine what that could be. Prozac for callers. Yeah. I can't imagine. 710 votes on the poll. What's the worst thing you ever got sucked into? Getting married seems to be leading the way. Out of 717, it's got 225, almost a third of all the votes. Oh, boy. That doesn't speak really well for the institution of marriage. But I'm sure that there are some people out there that will prove you wrong. Well, I hope for their sake. Mm-hmm. A religion, 130. My job, 91. Got sucked into this crap. Supporting the Iraq War, 85. The stock market before it crashed, 76. MySpace, look how many votes that's got.
About 30, man.
The Atkins diet, 28. Going to college or grad school, 26. And joining the military, 26 out of 717. But at least these 26 are still alive. I think those are the 26 who are. And in one piece.
Miami Dolphins football. The games are here. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Friday, you bastards.
Protect us from ourselves. You gotta watch what you say. You better or else you're busted. You're busted. The word police are monitoring every
Boy.
And using any coarse language by the power vested in me and our Lord God Bush, the Federal Communication Commission, and my prompting Michael Howell.
The word police, they want to bash in my head. The word police, don't like the words that I said. The word police, they want my civil rights dead. The word police, the word police, the word police.
10:31, it's a Boca Brian Friday, baby. Although, you know, I mean, we're not doing this because he's not getting the money, because you said eventually they're going to pay him now, or something like that, because I raved on the air and screamed and threatened and carried on. I want to know when that money is in his hand. I want to know when it's in his account.
Hear that, Boker? Send us an email, a text, or something.
Well, what does he have, like direct deposit, like most normal people, which they continue saying that I can't get because I'm an independent contractor and I have a corporation, which is a lie, but nevertheless.
I don't think he does.
He doesn't get direct deposit?
I don't think he does. He's not an employee.
So he has to wait for like a paper check, like I do?
Yes.
Boy, at least mine's worth waiting for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's worth waiting for. Although they do a day early. That's the one thing Joe Bell's accomplished. He gets me paid a day early. Should I care about anything else? No. I mean, I care about you guys. I want to make sure they take care of you, but they're not, and they won't. See, I try like hell, but it's, you know, my intentions are good, but how much can one man do? One old queen. One out-of-shape, soft old queen. That's what Ron Diaz said. I was the softest person he ever saw in his life.
That's right.
And he never even squeezed it. 733 votes on the poll. What's the worst thing you've ever gotten suckered into? Getting married is first 228. I'm not going to read all the other ones, because that one seems to be in a league of its own. I don't know. Why is that? Why so many bad marriages? I don't want anybody to start getting really nervous and think, oh, gee, I better not get married. There's a lot of...
It's a bad concept from the onset.
I see. Well, we have to have some kind of order, don't we, in the universe? We have to have, like, when all these babies are being made. Although, quite frankly, the idea of getting married to have babies anymore, that's passé. That's old.
That's right.
That's old. We have all these athletes and movie stars and everybody else, and just ordinary Janes and Joes who are making babies, and they're not married, not even thinking about it, or whatever. Call me irresponsible. Now, do we have the Jack Jones version or what? Don't play that.
Okay.
Wasn't I talking about that just yesterday? And what was the one you did find?
I forgot.
Something I said summed up the Beasleys perfectly. It wasn't call me irresponsible. Maybe it was that. I don't know. They are irresponsible, and they don't pay their bills. They don't pay their bills. Did you see the thing that he sent to Clarence, that big, Boca?
Yeah.
What about how many employees they got, and $125 million in this and that? Well, great, but they don't want to pay anybody. They just want a one-way deal, and that's why so many marriages go bad. They're a one-way deal. I think it should be a two-way deal. I think everybody should be doing a two-way, and in some cases maybe a three-way might help.
Oh, yeah, it would. It'd do wonders.
In fact, George could just drag the wife to some of those swing clubs more often. Maybe he wouldn't be so sour
or
about
I could
the whole
leave her
arrangement.
home because it's the fact
Leave
that
her
she
home
goes
and
with
just
me
go there
that
on his own would
guarantees
be
that
good.
nothing will happen.
No. So anyway, like I said, Doug Thompson writes about your buddy Paul Wolfowitz, who's out at the World Bank. Hey, go get that comb, Paulie. Speaking of combs, is that under? What is that under?
What is what under? Poiple veins?
Poiple veins? Is it under Poiple or is it under... I'm sure it's under Poiple. See, I went through all that trouble just to get you playing the comb. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Paul Wolfowitz overdue and well-deserved demise as president of the World Bank means yet another morally flawed appointee of President George W. Bush bites the dust, says Doug Thompson, on Capitol Hill Blue. Another one down, too many more still to go, he says. No administration in recent history has produced such an overwhelming number of corrupt, unethical, incompetent, and or downright criminal appointees. Bush's long and growing list of married men and women who have resigned in disgrace, arrested for criminal conduct, or removed from office stands as monumental evidence of flawed and corrupt presidential administration. Wolfowitz, the architect of Bush's failed Iraq war and the man who helped build a sandcastle of lies to sell the war to a blindly obedient Congress and asleep-at-the-wheel media, should have been fired as soon as evidence surfaced he had used his position to advance the career and income of a World Bank employee he was screwing at home. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I like the way Dougie sure minces his words, okay? He was screwing at home. Bush, as he always does, stood by his corrupt buddy until the pressure overwhelmed him. The president continues to stand by another fatally flawed appointee, Attorney General Alberto VO5 Gonzalez, as more and more evidence of incompetence, corruption, criminal activity, and baseline stupidity emerge. That's the problem with Bush. He's a flawed, ethically lapsed man who surrounds himself with corrupt men and women who share his absence of morality and lust for power. It may be someone with absolutely no qualifications for a job, like former and failed FEMA director Michael Brown, heck of a job, a criminal who bilks a store with a phony refund scheme like former domestic policy advisor Claude Allen, or powered-mad despots like Dick Cheney who trample the Constitution into the dirt. There's no doubt that Gonzalez broke the law by politicizing the Justice Department and illegally firing U.S. attorneys. There's no doubt that he repeatedly lied to Congress. Yet Bush, who promised the most ethical administration in history, stands by his sleazy prosecutor with Godfather-style protection. Godfather-style, like that. What else should we expect from Bush, who openly lies to the American people, Congress, and our allies? The man is, without question, the most corrupt occupant of the White House in decades, a serial liar, lawbreaker, and destroyer of the Constitution. If there was any real justice in the world, the man would be taken from the White House in shackles, flown to Gitmo, and given the same aggressive interrogation tactics deployed on other Americans imprisoned in that illegal hellhole. But it won't happen. Bush sees himself as all-powerful, above the law and beyond the touch of the Constitution he swore to uphold. Why shouldn't he? Nobody in Washington will challenge him. Certainly not the lackluster Democratic leadership of Congress or the Supreme Court, now overloaded with rabid right-wing appointees from too many years of Republican domination of the White House. Corrupt levers like Paul Wolfowitz might fall from the rotting tree. Oh, I say corrupt leaves is what it said. That's a bad word. Corrupt leaves like Paul Wolfowitz might fall from the rotting tree of the Bush administration, but the roots of corruption fertilized by the abuse of power keep that tree upright. The Bush White House is the most powerful organized crime family in the world. And as long as the Godfather remains in the chair behind the desk in the Oval Office, the peace and safety of the U.S. and the world is threatened by his reign of lawlessness and terror. The Godfather is behind that chair.
What are you going to do? Nice college boy, huh?
Oh. Good article by Doug Thompson, but he's always good. I mean, why would he even say that? Because I'm stupid, I guess. Miguel didn't mind that one, huh? You might mind some of the other ones because they're long and ponderous. In fact, there was a 16-page article about Hillary Clinton that I Schmidt-came because I thought, if I read a 16-page article, Miguel's going to get up and start throwing crap around all over the place. Won't you?
Yeah, but I want to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you did in that place. That would probably be that's what they deserve. That's what Boca should have come into the building and just start picking up all kinds of stuff and heaving it all over. Like I told you, he should have gone into Joe Bell's office, pulled out his pantaloonies, and done a humongous dump right there on Joe's desk. And said, there you go. There you go. How do you like that, huh? Jolly Joe? And Joe would have gone, how delightful. You know, like that. Because he's kind of a strange guy, you know. I think he means well. Let me say it again. Well, I wasn't talking about the radio station. I'm just talking about...
I see.
I'm talking in a generic sense. In life, I think he means well. He probably, pets a dog every now and then, or something nice like that. But in terms of radio, forget about it. 753 votes on our award-winning poll. They kind of goosed it up there pretty good because they want to make sure we get to 1,000 not to embarrass Miguel, because then nobody will speak to him if he leaves here today filling in for the ailing Chris and doesn't get 1,000 votes. We've been doing days with 1,400 and 1,500. You ought to be really proud of us, Miguel. You almost think somebody's listening. Almost.
Almost, yeah.
And 1,392 MySpace friends. Now, you said you hope that we'd get 1,000.
Yes.
I will guarantee you, I will promise this to you, and I'm still, not approving everybody. That we got a lot of fakers and a lot of whores and a lot of phonies and,
yes,
game players on there. And I still try to look at the profile a little bit and make sure I want to approve them. So it's not like I'm just desperate to get up to 1,400 or then 1,500 or whatever. And on our MySpace page, we don't have, like I said the other day, we don't have the fake Dan LeBastard and the fake Boog Shambi and the fake Eddie K and the fake Hank Humper, I mean, we could have 50,000 if we want to have the fake everybody. And if we had a whole staff of people that would do nothing but write fake profiles for fake people, stuff like that. But, whatever cranks your chain. So you are pretty impressed by the 1392, right?
Very impressed.
Are you? Especially for an old fart like me that reads all that crap on the air.
Neil God.
Welcome back to Kenny and Bo. Geldy's joining us again today.
Yeah.
I can't believe Virginia Tech canceled football training.
That's not right.
I'll tell you what's not right. After 9/11, all sports was canceled for almost a week. I was in withdrawal.
Hey, you were doing a show the morning of 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you handle that?
I'm proud to say we kept right on talking about the Miami Hurricane.
I don't know, Geldy. Something like that happens, I might have to put sports aside for a little bit.
That's why you're not going to last as long as I have.
Dude, people were jumping to their death. Our shores were attacked, man. That wasn't a good situation.
What's that got to do with dingleberry chewing sporthole faggery?
So, let me get this right. There's nothing more important in life than sports, right?
I don't care if my house was burning down with my family trapped inside. Nothing will lift my head from the sports page. You want job security at QAM? It's sports, sports, sports. If you want to work here, sports.
Hey, Geldy, come here. I want to show you something.
10:45. We got Geldy this afternoon from 5 till 6, and goes to show you, nothing is perfect, even here at QAM. Keep it a secret. Anyway, here's the fax. It says the worst thing I ever got sucked into was a multi-level marketing pyramid company. Please add to the poll. No. Multi-level marketing pyramid. I mean, you think anybody's going to vote for that besides this person?
A lot of those Amway people.
But here's a good one, though. Parenthood, it says, should be on your list.
Yes, it should.
The worst thing you ever got sucked into. Now, see, in your case, you got two wonderful daughters, but the fact of the matter is if they weren't there, you'd be long gone. Oh, I'm sorry, Crystal. Sorry, George, I shouldn't have said that.
Why?
Well, because it's true.
So why shouldn't you have said it?
Because she's probably still listening. She's probably listening every day now. Just wait to see what kind of nasty shots you give her.
Probably.
And I don't want to be the cause of any domestic turbulence or turmoil in your home.
You would not be.
Like I said, I keep my nose straight ahead. I mind my own business.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, well, it all depends on where I'm going to put it, you know. No, not there either. Fred C. says, would you please read today's Paul Krugman column, Don't Blame Bush, and you'll never believe what's next in my pile here of things to pass along to our astute audience. You'll never guess. Paul Krugman and Don't Blame Bush. I put it on the website for tomorrow, by the way. I just mentioned that in passing. A lot of people read the stories on there. I'm sure Miguel is not one of them because none of them have anything to do with Cuba.
Even
766 votes. Well, occasionally they do. Now, how's Fidel coming along, Miguel? I mean, we're not hearing any more about his imminent death.
Hey, if you don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right, because I got a nose for news, baby. You know that nose, I try to keep it straight ahead, but every now and then it gets like off to the side, gets out of joint. And when you get your nose out of joint, you've got some real problems.
Rectum.
Paul Krugman, Don't Blame Bush. It's in today's New York Times. He says, I've been looking at the race for the Republican presidential nomination, and I've come to a disturbing conclusion. Maybe we've all been too hard on President Bush. No, I haven't lost my mind. Mr. Bush has degraded our government, undermined the rule of law. He's led us into strategic disaster and moral squalor. But the leading contenders for the Republican nomination have given us little reason to believe they would behave differently. Why should they? The principles Mr. Bush has betrayed are principles today's GOP, dominated by movement conservatives, no longer honors. In fact, rank-and-file Republicans continue to approve strongly of Mr. Bush's policies, and the more un-American the policy, the more they support it. Now, Mr. Bush and Dick Cheney may have done a few things other Republicans wouldn't. Their initial domestic surveillance program was apparently so lawless and unconstitutional that even John Ashcroft, approached on his sickbed, refused to go along. For the most part, however, Mr. Bush has done just what his party wants and expects. There was a telling moment during the second Republican presidential debate when Brit Hume of Fox News confronted the contenders with a hypothetical 24-style situation in which torturing suspects is the only way to stop a terrorist attack. Bear in mind that such situations basically never happen in real life, that the U.S. military has asked the producers of 24 to cut down on the torture scenes. Last week, General David Petraeus, the U.S. commander in Iraq, circulated an open letter to our forces warning that using torture or other expedient methods to obtain information is both wrong and ineffective, and that it's important to keep the moral high ground. But aside from John McCain, who to his credit echoed General Petraeus and was met with stony silence, the candidate spoke enthusiastically in favor of torture and against the rule of law. Rudy Giuliani endorsed waterboarding. Mitt Romney declared that he wants accused terrorists at Guantanamo, where they don't get the access to lawyers they get when they're on our soil. My view is we ought to double Guantanamo, he said. His remarks were greeted with wild applause. And torture isn't the only Bush legacy that seems destined to continue if a Republican becomes the next president. Mr. Bush got us into the Iraq quagmire by conflating Saddam with al-Qaeda, treating two mutually hostile groups as if they constituted a single enemy. While Mr. Romney offers more of that. There is a global jihadist effort, he warned in the second debate, and they've come together as Shia and Sunni and Hezbollah and Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood and al-Qaeda with that intent. Aren't Sunnis and Shiites killing each other, not coming together? Never mind. What about the administration's state of denial over Iraq, its unwillingness to face up to reality? None of the leading GOP presidential contenders seem any different. Certainly not McCain, who strolled through a Baghdad marketplace wearing a bulletproof vest, accompanied by more than 100 soldiers in armored Humvees, while attack helicopters flew overhead, then declared that his experience proved there are parts of Baghdad where you can walk freely. Finally, what about the Bush administration's trademark incompetence? In appointing unqualified loyalists to key positions, Mr. Bush was just following the advice of the Heritage Foundation, which urged him back in 2001 to make appointment decisions based on loyalty first and expertise second. And the base doesn't mind. The Bernie Kerik affair, Mr. Giuliani's attempt to get his corrupt, possibly mob-connected business partner appointed at the head of the Department of Homeland Security, hasn't kept Giuliani from becoming the apparent front-runner for the Republican nomination. What we need to realize is that the infamous Bush bubble, the administration's no-reality zone, extends a long way beyond the White House. Millions of Americans believe that patriotic torturers are keeping us safe, that there's a vast Islamic axis of evil, that victory in Iraq is just around the corner, that Bush appointees are doing a heck of a job, and that news reports contradicting these beliefs reflect liberal media bias. And the Republican nomination will go either to someone who shares these beliefs and would therefore run the country the same way Mr. Bush has, or to a very, very good liar. That's what Paul Krugman's take is in the New York Times this morning. It didn't cost you a dime. And by the way, the unctuous James Dobson of Hocus Pocus on the Family said, Rudy, you ain't our guy. We don't like your kind. We don't like your kind, Rudy, you 3 times divorced, faggot-supporting pervert you. How do you like that? Mm-hmm. That's James Dobson, the unctuous one from Hocus Pocus on the Family, who hopefully, we can only pray, we can put our knees and our hands together and pray to the Lord, he'll follow Jerry Falwell real fast and go to that big pew in the sky. Not that we, wish anybody ill health, but in Jerry Falwell's case, we made an exception, and the same would be for D. James Kennedy and Reverend Dobson and all these other, this Reverend and that Reverend, and even the Reverend Al Sharpton, who, in spite of his liberal posturings, is still full of crap and a hypocrite and a phony. See, very seldom, the Reverends don't get fired very often. I mean, once in a while, if they're doing too much hanky-spanky or steal too much money or both. But generally speaking, most Reverends don't get fired.
And it doesn't matter if they do. They just, set up shop
They set up a shop someplace else. That's right. So they can steal some more money and molest some more unsuspecting children and stuff like that. That's right. And screw their brains out. 774 votes. What's the worst thing you ever got sucked into? Getting married. 236. That's over 30% of the audience. I think the poll, we ought to do one that says if you had to do it over again. See what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, these 30%, they wouldn't do it again. You think they would?
No, although I have met people that have been married more than once.
No, well, I'm saying they wouldn't get married to the same person again.
Right.
Although, was it the institution of marriage that was the evil thing, or was it the bad partner that they got hooked up with? Was that the problem?
See, without the institution of marriage, you wouldn't be stuck with a bad partner.
Was it the evil partner that they got stuck with?
You don't realize.
In other words, you're saying we shouldn't have marriage. We should just have chaos.
No,
we should just have a free-for-all. I'm all for that. That's one thing about us fags.
Once upon a time,
all this
there
gay
wasn't
marriage stuff. They can have it. You know?
Once upon a time, there wasn't marriage, and then the clergymen invented it so that they could get paid.
Yeah, but everybody was running around naked back then.
Yeah, that would be bad.
In most cases, I would agree. Anyway, getting married 236 leads the way. We won't ask Miguel to make any comment on any of these. Worst thing you ever got sucked into, a religion, 137. Is he giving you an angry look now or what?
No.
Oh, good. Well, I don't know with you. I don't dare ask. It's like Chris and his girlfriend, you know, which I'm not going to go there. I promised him I wouldn't talk about it, but I think we ought to be happy for him that he's got a nice girlfriend.
I'm ecstatic for him.
Well, good. So what's he so touchy about? He doesn't want her to become show material, and I respect that. I'm not going to talk about her. What does she look like? Anyway.
She's fine.
No. It's just a joke. I don't want to discuss her on the air. It's a bad idea, okay? I don't want to, stick my nose in there. My nose, by the time I get through, is going to be like freaking Pinocchio. It's going to be like Jose Ferrer in, what was that movie? Cyrano de Bergerac. Boy, it's he's been dead a long time. He had a big schnoz, too, without the makeup, Jose Ferrer. Don't they still have that Jose Ferrer theater over there somewhere?
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
If you weren't so out of touch, I want to be out of touch. I want to be very out of touch with South Florida. I want to be so out of touch that even if I reached out a zillion miles, I still couldn't touch it. And in my case, anyway, religion 139, I got sucked into that. Well, that's one of those things you can get out. It's a lot easier to get out of that than it is to get out of that marriage crap. My job, 99. A lot of people out there with jobs that they're not too happy about getting paid nickels and dimes. How's Miguel doing on the pay scale? They give you a few extra bucks or what?
I could do better.
You could be doing a lot better, but that's because the Beasleys don't want to pay anybody. They give me all the money, and they don't want to give you guys any. You know what? That's the way we're going to keep it.
Yeah, talent takes all the money around here.
So, yeah, like George. Supporting the Iraq War, 97. The stock market before it crashed. All that .com garbage, that crap, 86. Oh, it's the new economy against the old economy. I'm going to say it again. The whole staff of CNBC ought to be at Rikers Island. Instead, they stick Al Goldstein's ass there. MySpace, 35. Well, they got sucked into it. Maybe they had some bad experiences on there. I can't even begin to imagine that. Well, so I had one, No, actually, I guess I had two.
Huh?
But now everything is hunky-dory. Everything is just as sweet and fine as GI wine. Going to a college or grad school has got...
About 30, man.
And also...
About 30, man.
...to join the military. The Atkins diet, 29, and we put parenthood on there, and so far none. And you want to know why? Because all these people, even with bad spices and spouses, they love their kids. Even like George.
Of course, it's not their fault.
Yeah, but, there are some people, you can pick your nose and pick your butt, but you can't pick your kids any more than you can pick your parents.
Right.
So in other words, you're saying there are no bad kids?
If there are bad kids, it's probably the parents' fault.
And you're saying that there are no stories, there are no problems with being a parent? Is that what you're saying to us?
Of course there are.
But that has no votes. I'm not trying to talk anybody into it. Because I sure wouldn't want to be a parent because I'd be a bad one. I'd be...
Apparently.
I would never survive. I'd be a nervous wreck.
It ain't easy.
I know it, and I just don't have the emotional stability. I'm a nervous wreck. I couldn't handle it.
What's going on? Where are you?
That's right. That's right.
That's me. Is that how you act?
Well, no, I'm not a squirrel.
I am. Nuts.
That's what I heard.
For him. 787 on the poll. We'll get to 1,000 today, but it's not going to be easy. Remember, Miguel needs your sympathy vote. All you people who speak English, they'll come to your rescue, won't they?
No.
No. Maybe they'll throw you a life raft.
The Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Goodbye, Scooter Libby, 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 Libby. You out at secret agents in the field and got 'em killed. Like Dick Cheney, you're a treasonous fool. Can't pick your boyfriends in the tombs. Looks like it's time for flipping. I'd like to ask, working under Dick, from your vantage point, does Cheney have a mole on his ass? Here we go again, high-level neocon men, always wind up in the pen. We'll never know how many agents died because of your big mouth. With love, Novak and Roe will join you soon. When you see your cellmate Cheney, you can ask him why his name rhymes with Agnew.
800 votes even, and you want to know why we got 800? Because we finally got one for Parenthood. Somebody said they got sucked into it. It's a bad idea. Maybe their kids are rotten. Or maybe that's what maybe tied them to that really bad marriage.
Right, exactly. Or maybe they would have wanted to be a parent with somebody nice.
Oh, boy, you're just not going to let go of that, are you?
What?
Why don't you try to look on the bright side? You're stuck. You know, why can't you try to make the best
Yeah,
of
that's
it?
the bright side.
What? That you're stuck?
Yeah.
Oh. Former Boy Scout official was charged Thursday with sexually assaulting a young scout, the second set of sex abuse charges to be filed against him in a month. Well, he likes him young and he's horny, you know. This is in somewhere, Illinois. This is from our good online friend, the kitty cat with no name, whatever his name is, you know, the one that you were ripping the other day. The one that doesn't know how to put his picture on there. Charles Bickerstaff, 56, of Dixon, Illinois, was charged with 1 count of predatory criminal sexual assault and 6 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. The new charges were filed shortly after Bickerstaff pleaded not guilty Thursday to aggravated criminal sexual abuse and criminal sexual assault charges filed last month that he molested a 16-year-old scout at least 4 times since July. Lee County, see, I don't know, maybe I'm confused or I'm a little bit slow. How can you molest somebody the second time, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
I mean, call me crazy.
You're crazy.
Okay. Lee County State's Attorney Paul Whitcomb said the latest case involves a boy who was younger than 13 when the suspected abuse.
Why don't you hold that thought and talk to Dave Johnson?
Oh, geez, what am I doing here? My God, I must be a crazy person.
Well,
why don't I talk to Dave Johnson?
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Well, I get all whipped up into the show here, and I forgot all about that Preakness. How could I forget Dave Johnson? Now, don't you tell me that you're not calling the Preakness on the radio or somewhere.
No, I'm sitting on the couch at home watching it like most people.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
You know, I was thinking to myself when I'm watching the Derby, which I didn't really like the race, to be honest with you, but I'm sitting there watching that race, and I'm thinking, Dave is sitting in his luxurious New York apartment, and as he's watching the race on TV, he's calling the race. Now, am I right?
No, I was rooting for Street Sense. As you remember, that was my pick.
You picked it, I know, and even Hank picked it, too. And, of course, I threw him out, so as soon as I said that, everybody should have plunged their lungs on him.
That's the way you do it. You just cross out the horses that we pick, right? Most of the time.
No, that I pick. You pick the winner, okay? Don't be so modest now. It's the first one in 100 years, so, you got to go with it.
Who'd you pick? I forgot.
I picked No Biz Like Showbiz, and he's still running. He was right there at the top of the stretch, and he looked down at a long stretch at Churchill Downs. He said, I don't think so, and he turned and went the other way.
Yeah, well, it was a good name, but not a good horse on the first Saturday in May.
I mean, he was right there, but and I'll tell you, I've got to give credit where credit is due because Street Sense was 19th. I remember Durkin getting all whipped up into a frenzy about the fact that he only had 1 horse beat in the backstretch. He was 19th, and as Bob Savage used to say, he circled the field along the rail. Bob used to actually say that. That's one of his classic trademark lines. He circled the field along the rail.
The great Bob Savage. What a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He was a good guy. And then, of course,
there's Calvin Burrell on my other line, but I'm just going to shut it off. How are you?
It's not Calvin Burrell. Come on. If it was Calvin Burrell, you'd be on that thing. You'd drop me like a hot potato.
Actually, I talked with Calvin this week.
Now, tell him that for this race tomorrow that he ought to at least put some teeth in or something.
Oh, that's Calvin. That's who he is. Come on.
If he didn't look a day over 100, I was happy for him because he was obviously so pumped up. He was just he didn't know what to do. He was just jumping out of his skin. He was so excited.
That's just the way he is. I tell you. Now you figure out this line. One time when I went into Shreveport for the Super Derby, I said to the guy driving the rental car truck, I said, "Who's your favorite jockey?" I love that kind of talk to the locals and figure out what do they have to say about the racing. He says, he said Calvin Burrell. He'll throw a snake at you. Isn't that a great line? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a good line.
I'm not going there, believe me. I'm not touching that line.
He'll throw a snake at you.
Well, anyway, I think that was an unbelievable performance, whether he circled the field along the rail or what he did. He came from almost last, and he just blew by them like they were all standing still.
Yeah.
Which means one of two things. Either it's a hell of a horse, or, again, we've got a very mediocre bunch, and most of them are running in the Preakness.
And Street Sense, I mean, it's such a great name, too. And I told you, Carl Nasker's just a terrific trainer who brings them to their fore right at the peak time. And how about Calvin Burrell getting to go to the White House in white tie and black tail?
Really?
Yeah, Yeah, the Monday or Tuesday after the Derby, he was part of that white tie dinner for Queen Elizabeth with Condi Rice and Colin Powell and Henry Kissinger and Calvin Burrell.
Wow. Well, they should have left him there, put him in charge. He sure as hell couldn't do any worse.
Well, there was more street sense in the White House with him there than
than we got now. That's for
that
sure.
Are in there now, right?
And like I said, when with Karl Rove around, you can be sure that Elizabeth wasn't the only queen in the White House. But anyway, I'm going to go chalk. I hate to do that this time, but street sense to me looked awesome, at least against those others. I don't know that much about these horses that didn't run in the Derby. And one thing I found over the years in both thoroughbred and harness racing, when there are horses in the same running back together again, and they ran 1-2 the first time.
Yep.
Very often you'll see them run 1-2 again. People say, "Oh, gee, that Quinella or that Exacta is going to pay like nothing. Hard spun for second."
I don't think hard spun will be in the money. I really don't.
Really?
I think
Why do you say that?
Well, it was a very tough race in Kentucky, and I really like the trainer Larry Jones, and the jockey Mario Pino is the king of the hill there. But that race had to take something out of him, whereas Street Sense did it so easily.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Street Sense again, but I'm looking for maybe Curlin to rebound and Circular Key's coming back. Johnny Velazquez, Todd Pletcher. I mean, this is not a bad horse, so I'm going to use Street Sense over Curlin and Circular Key in the Exactas.
Okay.
Yeah, but hard spun, you can have it.
Well, that's about a 380 Exacta the way I'm looking at it. It's not going to pay very much.
Who needs that?
Yeah, and that's what I say. When in doubt, throw the chalk out. But in this case, how many years? Is it about 50 years in a row now? We've been begging for the super horse to come along. We always get suckered in and think, this is the year it's going to be this one. And I don't know, based on the race he ran in the Derby, I think this is a pretty good horse.
Yeah. Now, if he wins the Preakness, though, he'll have 3 weeks to recover. That's still pretty tough. And then there'll be some new shooters. It'll be a great triple crown. And whoever wins the Preakness, if it isn't Street Sense, then it'll be a great match between them in the Belmont. So it's a good season for horse racing.
Now, how many more years has NBC got the Derby before you can get back on television?
Oh, Neil, I'm retired. Come on.
Get out of here, you're retired. Are you
the old
what?
days. Those are the old days.
Really?
Yeah. I'm 65. Going to be 66 this month, actually.
I'll be 65 in November, so we got two old farts here. And, of course, what's better talking about horse racing than old farts, man?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it's all about.
I had a great run. I had 30 years. That was good enough. I'm happy to sit on the couch and root for the horse I bet. And
you outlived Howard Cosell by many years, too, so that must be some source of satisfaction.
I did.
That's what I was thinking Tuesday when Jerry Falwell croaked. I'm thinking, boy, well, at least I outlived him anyway.
Oh, well...
I know.
I'm not going to speak ill about the dead, but, I was not a fan. So maybe Falwell and Howard could be...
you might make a couple of exceptions.
There we go.
So I'm going with you this time. I like Street Sense. I think you got a heck of a race in the Derby, and I think we need something to get excited about for crying out loud. Thoroughbred racing has been so many disappointments for so many years. We need a super hoss.
And super trainer and a jockey that you can really root for. So we're on the same page.
He might be able to afford some teeth for the Belmont. Take care, Dave. Don't get too excited there on the couch.
Okay, I'll talk to you before the Belmont.
Will do. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Okay, there's Dave Johnson. I can reach over and shut the phone thing off there now. That's a good idea. Boy, I almost forgot about that. It's a good thing you said you better talk to Dave.
That's what I'm here for. And the
Are you really? Are you like directing traffic? Now, let's see. Getting back to this pervert there in Illinois. Bickerstaff, who retired last year, of working more than 3 decades for the Boy Scouts of America, denies any involvement in the abuse. Defense attorney Rolf Ehrman said yesterday. Bickerstaff was district executive for the Boy Scouts Blackhawk Area Council, which serves Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties in northern Illinois. There he recruited and trained volunteers and helped organize fundraisers. He seems to be in pretty decent spirits. He's prepared to sit down and work out preparing a defense, Ehrman said. Prosecutors say the case against him could grow significantly because journals found at his home detail sexual encounters with underage boys dating back to 1989. It's one thing if you're breaking the law, no matter you're molesting kids or you're robbing money from the office. Always keep a journal of it at home so everybody can document it really well.
That's
in fact,
right.
maybe put it on the Internet's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Keep lots of
everybody,
pictures,
strangers. So everybody can read your crap. So Dave likes Street Sense and Curlin. I like Street Sense and Hard Spun, which ain't going to pay nothing. And I don't know anything anyway. See, it's one thing about me. I do it for fun. Can you believe that he's retired?
Happens to
Dave
everybody,
Johnson?
right?
I mean, a Triple Crown race without Dave Johnson is like a day without orange juice.
Huh?
800. Well, in Florida, don't you remember those ads, those spots?
No.
A day without orange juice is like a day without sunshine? Come on.
One of those Anita Bryant ads?
Yeah, one of the Anita Bryant before she became homophobic and got all wiggy, and we found out she was married to Bob Green, who was diddling with guys and all of that stuff. The ones who point the fingers, always look out for them. What's the worst thing you ever got sucked into? Getting married, 244. Religion, 146. My job, 105. Supporting the Iraq War, 105. The stock market before it crashed, 89. MySpace, 37. Going to college or grad school, 31. Joining the military, 31. The Atkins diet, 29. And parenthood, soltanto uno, only one. Only one with some rotten, miserable kid, you know? Know how that goes. And if you wind up with a rotten, miserable kid, there's a way to deal with that.
Speech impaired. Porthole radio 560. The cadmium.
The two listeners in our audience will be excited to hear the new comedy bit.
I think comedy.
Is that comedy bit?
Well, it's not sports related, which could be the situation.
Oh no, it's sports related, all right, and that's what makes it funical. Fun.
Funny?
Yeah, funny for us to giggle. Okay, here it is, gentlemen. Both of you out there. I can get this electronic device to work.
I'm making sounds with my mouth. 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 I'm making a sound with my mouth. I'm making sound. I'm making with my mouth. I'm making a sound with my mouth.
With my mouth. I'm making a sound with my mouth.
I want to plant azaleas.
A tribute to Baldy, to Boca Brian, Chickadeck, who's trying desperately to stay alive, to keep afloat, and in spite of the fact that the Beasleys won't pay him, I bet you he'll float. Maybe you can float him alone, George.
Okay.
824 votes on the poll. Miguel's pretty confident we'll make that 1,000 today, in spite of the fact that Chris isn't here to egg the audience on.
For sure.
Now, I'm sure that Miguel even would admit that all around the building, probably at the water cooler, they're talking about...
Ain't no port sounds anymore.
Am I right? Because I know everybody in town is talking about it.
Everybody's humming it.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Doi, 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 doi.
She blows, she blows.
That's what they're saying.
Yes.
And they're talking about Joyce, of course.
You fairy.
Well, we're number one in, what was the thing the other day, in rude drivers, Miami?
Correct.
Florida now leads the nation in the number of cases of suspected mortgage fraud. We're number one again. And the Mortgage Bankers Association is urging Congress to set aside $31.2 million over the next 5 years to hire more FBI investigators and prosecutors. Number one in rude drivers in South Florida, and number one in cases of suspected mortgage fraud. Florida replaced Georgia, which held the number one spot since 2002, according to the 2006 report released this week from the Reston, Virginia-based Mortgage Asset Research Institute. The group tracks loan fraud and ranks the top 10 states where lenders either were found or suspect problematic loans. Can't speak this morning, which is fine, because they're not paying any attention anyway. Florida ranked fourth last year's report. Now we're number one. All right. Experts say the fallout from Florida's hot housing market is leading lenders to pick up on bad loans originated last year. One of the things that fueled growth in fraud is the rapid growth in prices in the housing market, said John Metcham, spokesman for the Bankers Association. When people see all that money, it becomes a target for mortgage fraud schemes. When they see all that money, they want to just take their arms and reach in there and just grab out piles of it, baby, just like at Woodbine. Oh, yeah. You think I'm going to find me a good machine tomorrow morning?
Let's hope.
I doubt it. I don't really care. All I care is if I have a good time. You know, if they give me a little taste, you know what I'm saying? Just to give me a little taste, have a good time. It doesn't have to be like $1 zillion. Although half a zillion would be okay. Some economists say that the number one ranking spells trouble For more than just lenders who are forced to foreclose on properties when borrowers stop making mortgage payments, the state's overall housing economy could suffer as mortgage fraud pushes up foreclosure rates, which causes more homes to flood the already crowded real estate market. As homeowners compete with each other and lenders, home prices could go down even more than they are right now. They're going down. As Erin Summers would say if she were here to sing it. We got you down, and we're going to keep you down. We're going to put our, just like Joyce would say,
right.
Put that long heel right on your chest and keep you down. Bitch. 800, are we going to the negatory or what? I thought we had 860 something, now it's 825. Am I dreaming? Am I like losing it?
Yeah, I think you're dreaming.
I think we just lost a chunk of votes. That's the first time in history. How's that? Maybe we got it in reverse. Eric finally put that thing in reverse. He's driving it. 8-30. Now we're doing okay. I just want to make sure we make 1,000 because it is Friday, May 18, and it's getting real close to that time of the year when some of us aren't going to be working too much. Not that I'm looking forward to that. I don't want those people starting in again. Oh, all he does is try to kill time till 2 o'clock and then wait for his vacations and those 2 days in the summertime. It's disgraceful. Yeah, like all those people that are bellyaching are paying my salary or something. You know what I'm saying? What is it their business? They're just jealous. They're just jealous. They would like, damn well, you know that they'd like to sit on their ass and talk crap for 4 hours every day, every once in a while whenever they feel like it, and get paid that kind of money. You better believe they're jealous. Aren't they?
You bet.
Trust me.
Want that.
Now, would they like to change into this body, though?
Ooh.
Yeah, see, there's an interesting thought for you right there.
So doughy.
Maybe they want... Yeah. Oh, there's Larry King. Dancing with the Stars. Isn't that pathetic? And I wonder if he's got his bag hooked up there. Oh, my God. How sad. How pathetic. Yeah, isn't that tragic? Watching a 90-year-old hunchback man with suspenders dancing with some marginal chick there. Oh.
And I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. But kissing ass has worked really well. Made a whole career out of it, Larry. Very sad if people only really knew. But you know what? Who cares? I don't even begrudge him. He don't owe me any money. He lied through his teeth to me and, made up a whole bunch of stories and to everybody else he knew. But he doesn't owe me any money. Just like that one time somebody called in and said, Neil, something about me. He said, who's Neil Rogers? I don't know who that is. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then, of course, we have all these drops that kind of disprove. I mean, not that I would say he ever lied or anything like that.
Hi, this is Larry King, and they don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
He just doesn't know who that is, that's all. 8:34 on the pool, and Parenthood's got 4 now. I'm sure we'll find some people with some rotten kids out there. And, of course, they blame the kids. It couldn't possibly be their fault that their kids turned out to be like that, that their kids turned out to be hateful and rotten and nasty. Speaking of hateful and rotten and nasty, this reminds me of that Injun situation we had. That's what Beaucamper would call it, the Injun situation. A lot of situations with Beaucamper, you know?
Sorry, what?
That's what happens when you plant azaleas. You start saying it's the same words again and again. Situation. He says that a lot. Situation. Or maybe it's Chicken X says that, pretending to be him. See, I get confused between the real, between the real people like this. See, there's the real one. There's the Boca one, which is always much more entertaining. Like that. I mean, there's the real Geldy, and then there's that. The Florida Lottery is refusing to pay a $500,000 prize to a family until it can inspect the $20 scratch-off ticket, which appears to be a misprint official. Did you see this on TV? I seen it.
No.
In Ocala. Joe Curcio, 56, has failed to file a prize claim and turn over his ticket for a full inspection, Lottery spokeswoman Jacqueline Barrero said. We can't say whether we'll pay the jackpot or not till we go through the process, she said. An initial examination showed the ticket appeared misprinted, she said. Oh, man, I wouldn't put up with that. I'd start going nuts. I'd start heaving crap, and Curcio got the ticket at the Service Plaza Sunday on Florida's Turnpike. The Gold Rush ticket has the numeral 1 on the top row and a numeral 1 above the $500,000 scratch-off piece, making the ticket appear to be a wiener, $500,000. But Curcio said lottery tickets officials told him the top number actually was a 13 that was misprinted. Also, the ticket's barcode showed it was not a winner when it was scanned. Or is that scammed? Scammed it. They're saying it's a misprint. How do I know it's a misprint? Asked the used car dealership owner. Curcio's hired an attorney to press his claim. Sue their ass, Joe. Squeeze every dime out of these grave robbers. Kick ass, baby. Start heaving a bunch of garbage all over the place.
Neil Rogers, middays. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
That the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Well, Coulter is a fascist party doll. Coulter is a fascist party doll. Coulter is a fascist party doll who spews her hate on you. seething, hateful spew. Well, we live in a free country that always brags about being free. Imagine how frustrating it can be. I can't say a word that begins with C. Coulter ain't a woman, hand's a man with an Adam's apple and giant hands. Coulter ain't a woman, hand's a man, but that still turns you on. Come on, that still turns you on. Well, Ann is a good Republican who likes to flash her skinny gams. With no background, all she can do is lie on her back and say, kill the Jews. Coulter is a right-wing partisan pig in a mini-skirt and nylon wig. Nothing bad will ever happen to him, 'cause evil always wins, you dig? Evil always wins. You fail. When she's on TV, you fools blankly stare with a little drool and laugh along with the hateful swill. A partisan pundit sideshow filth. Coulter is a fascist party doll. Coulter is a fascist party doll. Coulter is a fascist party doll who spews her hate on UPU. Seething hateful spew. Pew, pew, pew.
Now there's a good poll idea. Which bitch do we hate the worst, Ann Coulter or Joyce?
Good point. Joyce.
That's an excellent. Do we really? Yeah, Ann
Yeah,
Coulter
she's
doesn't
closer
really
to
affect our
home.
lives or our livelihood very much, as opposed. And Ann Coulter isn't doing her best to try to destroy the show like Joyce is, who's on the payroll for the Beasleys. See what I'm saying? I just mentioned that in passing again for the umpteenth time because it's very obvious, and she already made it very clear she'll do anything in her power to destroy the Neil Rogers show, and she's doing a wonderful job. That's what Norma Kent said, and of course the fact that he sits back and allows this to go on indicates what a tremendous queen he is. But you know, his heart's in the right place.
Where is that?
I don't know. Somewhere above his
rectum.
Don't get me started on him, okay? 848 votes on that poll, and marriage is still leading the way, nearly 30%. The worst thing they've ever gotten sucked into, getting married, 253. Well, you know, there's a few good marriages out there that last, and then there's bad marriages that last, too.
Right.
Like I told you, my parents were married for 30 years, and then, was it 30?
I don't know.
And then got divorced after 30 long, excruciating years of bitching and kvetching and hate and psychosis and... Oh, brother. War-torn Iraq facing collapse, says UK think tank. That doesn't sound too promising, and that's certainly not what El Presidente is telling us, and all the other and the media whoremongers. The BBC News staff says Iraq faces the distinct possibility of collapse and fragmentation, UK foreign policy think tank Chatham House be saying. Its report says the Iraqi government is now largely powerless and irrelevant in many parts of the country. You know, I want you to stop and think about this. The think tank, Chatham House. What is a think tank? Like the Heritage Foundation, a bunch of Nazis that sit around and decide what's good for everybody.
Exactly. It's a big room and people in there thinking about how to do evil things.
Evil people thinking.
Right.
Evil things. Anyway, Chatham House warns that there's not one war, but many local civil wars, urges a major change in U.S. and British strategy, such as consulting Iraq's neighbors more. That's spelled N-E-I-G-H-B-O-U-R-S in the typically British way, because it's the BBC. Neighbors more. And unfortunately, the Canadians still have that constipated British spelling for words like colours and neighbours and stuff like that. Oh. The report comes as Iran said Iranian and U.S. diplomats would hold talks May 28th on the security situation in Iraq. Oh, let's get Bocamper over there. It's another situation. Iranian Foreign Minister Manouchehr Mottaki said the talks... Oh, I almost got... whiplash.
What word did you say?
Manouchehr Mottaki said the talks, the third such meeting, would be restricted to the subject of Iraq. Manouchehr Mottaki. Negotiations limited to Iraq, and Iraq will start with the presence of Iraqi officials, he told reporters during a visit to Pakistan. I don't know what that means. The situation in Iraq will form part of discussions between Tony Blair and George W. Bush. It's Mr. Blair's last official visit to the White House before he steps down as Prime Minister on June 27th, and too bad that his partner in crime couldn't be stepping down June 27th as well. We'd throw one hell of a party, let me tell you that. I'd cater it myself. The UK Foreign Office responded to the Chatham House report, stated that security conditions, although grim in places, varied across Iraq. Grim in places. Most insurgent attacks remain concentrated in just 4 of Iraq's 18 provinces, containing less than 42% of the population. Iraq has come a long way in a short time, and the international community must stand alongside the Iraqi government, said a Foreign Office spokesman. Major General William Caldwell, spokesman for the multinational force in Iraq, told the BBC the U.S. troop surge in Baghdad was showing progress. We're seeing positive indicators that within Baghdad, levels of violence are coming down, he said. Just like the walls of Jericho, man, they're coming down. That's what we want it to do, so that it'll set the conditions to allow for economic and political process to take place. And they keep talking bada beep, bada boop, bada bop. However, Gareth Stansfield, a Middle East expert who wrote the Chatham House report, says that the breakup of Iraq is becoming increasingly likely. In large parts of the country, the Iraqi government is powerless, he says, as rival factions struggle for local supremacy. It's a civil war, baby. They're killing each other. The Sunnis and the Shiites and the Kurds, and they want their way, and they want the freaking oil, and, it's all a mess. It's a nightmare. It's a bloodbath. And our people are over there in the middle of it, and the public is saying, oh, look at Larry King. Don't he look good there on Dancing with the Stars? That's the American public for you. 852. You can't complain about American intelligence because, generally speaking, there ain't much. There's a little bit. There's a few, Few people with an IQ larger than their pinky. 852 on the poll. I don't know if we're going to make that 1,000 today. You know what? It's kind of slowing down, Miguel. 855. It's coming in little chunks.
Huh?
What do you think? Can we do it? I hate for you to have that cross to bear the rest of your life. Because I can't recall the last time we did a poll on this show and didn't make the 1,000 votes.
Right.
I mean, because we always have a nice head start anyway.
Well, you don't have to be like Chris and pretend to care. I mean, you can be honest.
No, I really don't care.
Well, good. I appreciate your refreshing honesty as opposed to Chris, who pretends to care and does it very poorly, by the way. I think that's why he's out sick today. The Lord is punishing him. Pretending to care and doing it very poorly. I mean,
he's choking on insincerity?
Holy Moses, there's nothing worse than insincerity,
Right.
Pretending to care and not caring. Not good. Well, I'm sure everybody knows about this now. It means all you illegal aliens are going to get the diaries now, so be sure and put down QAM. Senators from both parties announced an agreement yesterday afternoon on immigration reform legislation that would bring illegal immigrants and their families out of the shadows and into the sunshine of American life, as Ted Kennedy put it. Let's sing in the sunshine. Gail Garnett, man. Let's bring all those illegals out and put them in the sunshine. Give them like a passport, Social Security card, $1 million. The bill would provide an opportunity right away for millions of illegal aliens to correct their status, Kennedy said. It would emphasize family ties, which was a really bad show, as well as employment skills in weighing how soon immigrants could become legal residents. You don't have Let's Sing in the Sunshine by Gail Garnett?
Yeah, but my computer's restarting, so.
Ah, jeez. Jeez Louise. That's the bee's knees. Now, that's another one of those expressions, I mean, I realize what it's supposed to mean. It's just stupid. It's supposed to be stupid, and you know what? It is. The bee's knees. But it would also emphasize improved border security, would call for very strong sanctions against employers who knowingly hire illegal immigrants, according to Senator Arlen Magic Bullet Specter, Republican of Pennsylvania. Speaking of Magic Bullet, you see that thing on the news last night about the Kennedy assassination? I mean, I got the story on it. We'll get to it. The JFK assassination, that is. I mean, they just keep lying and lying and lying. Oh, well, it could have been any other bullet, and it didn't have to come from Oswald's gun. First of all, Oswald didn't shoot anybody, okay? And they say, well, Lee Harvey Oswald did this, and Lee Harvey Oswald did that, and Frankie Pentangeli says, yeah, sure. Same kind of crap, They state it as fact, even though, it just makes you very, very angry. But anyway, Arlen Specter, he's always got his nose in everything, Nice haircut, though. I know he had cancer and all this other stuff. Both senators acknowledged that the proposed bill, which was immediately praised by President Bush, was likely to come under fire from both the political right and political left, decried either as amnesty or not humanitarian enough, as Mr. Specter said. To become legislation, the proposed bill would have to be approved by the House, which has had serious differences with the Senate on the issue. The House has tended to emphasize border security more than ways to allow immigrants to become citizens, and any mention of amnesty for illegal aliens has been poison in the House. And I'll tell you one thing, Lou Dobbs is in there. He's force-feeding any food that he can find in the House.
Good.
And everybody's house. He's shoveling down his big fat puss because he is really whipped up into a frenzy. They had him on there this morning, wouldn't you expect? If they're talking about illegal aliens, he wants to go find where they are and take good care of them, man. He wants to make sure they get what they got coming.
Good. I'll help.
Speaking of bullets. Speaking of Arlen Specter and that magic bullet, that pristine bullet on the stretcher at Parkland Hospital, that just happened to roll out of somebody's body. I ain't got no body. I guess out of John Connolly. It just rolled right on there. And look at that. It's pristine and clean. Couldn't kill a queen. 861 votes on the poll. They're coming along slow and sure. It's a Friday, Don't expect too much.
It's Friday, you bastard.
I thought Christianity was fairy tale.
Absolutely.
This religious thing was not for me. They held was a big convention. They let me in for free. I had no idea what I was about to see. Oh! They were speaking in tongues that made me a believer. It was kind of fun to stick it out of my mouth. Speak in tongues. They got me believing my tongue is weaving from side to side. The Lord will now embrace me. I clap my tongue to the beat. Now, whatever I do, He'll forgive me. Oh! Because now I speak in tongues. That makes me a believer. And I'm having fun. Playing around with my mouth. Yeah, I speak in tongues.
14 will do it at 560. They just showed Wolf Blitzkrieg on there. They're teasing that Situation Room. I guess Bocamper's going to be on. Check out the Situation. And second shooter, question mark, on the JFK thing. See, this is why it's so ridiculous, you know. All that Jesus stuff and Moses stuff and Abraham stuff. I mean, holy Moses. Wait, we don't even know what the hell. This was 44 years ago? 43 and a half years ago, December 22, 1960, November 22, 63. Remember it like it was just yesterday. See, that's how your life goes by, George, in big chunks.
I know.
Well, you know.
Or all at
873 votes on the poll. And, of course, what collection of Boca Brian stuff would be complete without this? Am I absolutely correct?
Yes.
They want us to find a way to reimburse them for back pay from 200 years ago when they were slaves.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I only have a mobile home, a pit bull and a pinch of scope.
You fair.
So if you wanna ask me how, here's what I gotta say. You've got to.
Anyway, it's 11:48, 12 minutes before noon at QM. I bet you Miguel was sliding off the chair there for a moment.
I was.
Were you sitting like right on the edge of the seat, like the edge of the seat was like in the crack there because you were about to fall on the floor? Just relax, okay? I got my thumb on it, just to relax, okay? But you would have to agree, you'd have to admit that no Boca Brian collection would be complete without that.
This is true.
Well, there we go. See, he's agreeable today. I don't know what the deal is with... I don't like asking too many questions with you because...
Come, we'll take the oath, baby.
Oh, that's not it. Where's the Condoleezza? Oh, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. That would be good, too, if we could play the original one. I mean, this one is... If you don't know the original one, then this one means nothing. Right. All it does is indicate that we're muzzled by Joyce, and of course the audience is well aware of that. The long-suffering Neil Rogers Show audience on this radio station who are muzzled to a point of lunacy and insanity and unacceptability. But like I said, I'll continue taking the money. Thank you very much. And we'll do the best we can under moderate circumstances. 878 on that pool. And it's still just stuck with 4 people who are like, say they got suckered into parenthood. Bad idea having them kids. Now, maybe that's because their kids are bad, or maybe just because kids were like interfered with their marriage.
Life, everything?
Well, yeah, right.
Money, schedule.
Money, that's right.
Fun.
Screwing around schedule,
sure.
Things like that.
Yeah, everything.
All of these things. Having pain in the ass kid there. Hey, it's like having Geldy there. It's like having Joel Feinberg there at the house. Always crying. They don't care about our business. Nobody cares is right, Joel. We don't care. You're a horseball. You're a legend in your own mind. You're legendary in a vacuum. That's the interesting part about that whole operation. Legendary in a vacuum. I'm legendary. Well, I used to be legendary in a gigantic big, And now I'm getting to that vacuum myself. So what does Miguel think like about the morning show?
Love the morning show.
The Kenny and Bo morning show I'm talking about.
Why is George?
If I lost, is this thing? All the green lights are flashing. I don't think I've lost my connection. 879 in the poll. We need 121 to get to 1,000. Then Miguel can sit back and relax after he answers the question about his opinion on the Kenny and Bo morning show.
Very much like your show. If they let them do what Kenny would like the morning show to be, it would be much better.
You really think so? You think so, huh?
Kenny's great.
And what would Kenny like to do on there? Bring back the square table, maybe?
Score table.
I'm listening. Come on, you're supposed to be the radio maven. I mean, add a little something.
I am by no
for
means
Christ's
a
sake.
radio maven.
What?
I am by no means a radio maven.
You always say you are. We ask about any
I say
station,
lots of
and
things.
you know about stations that we never even heard of before, for Christ's sakes. You're the expert. You're the one that monitors this crap. They sure as hell aren't listening to the rest of the building, thank God. They're listening to Power or some garbage like that, or Kiss. They're kissing it. So what's your take? Now, what are you saying? That if they let Kenny loose, well, what is it that he wants to do?
More of a guy show.
More of a guy show? You mean like I do? A guy show?
No,
not
talking about general talk, you know.
Talking about boobs and when he got laid at the house and whatever
TNA,
on the street.
Who doesn't want to talk about TNA?
Who is?
Who doesn't want to talk about TNA?
Right. I do.
So do I.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about his TNA.
You just like A.
No, I don't want to hear about that either, eh? So in other words, you're saying that it could be good, but now who's the one that's
could be better
with it? I would hardly agree with that. It could definitely be better, and the numbers could be better too. I'm going to tell you right now, and we'll never know the answer, but I think I got, speaking of Boca Brian, a bit here that if we played this from 7 to 10 every morning for an entire rating period, we get better than a 1.5 share.
Ain't no Fort Sounds anymore.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that,
No.
but I just have a very, having been in the business more than 2 or 3 days,
Right.
I have a strong feeling about it.
I won't bet against that.
Yeah, I could do better than a 1.5. In fact, everybody in the whole, not just in town, everybody in the radio industry would be the talk of the universe. That's all even on Mars they'd be talking about it. The Lilliputians, the little people. Oh, I got to tell you, speaking of little people, and this sounds very insensitive. It's a bad thing to say, but I'm just telling you the way I felt about it. I'm in taking a leak at Woodbine the other day. I got my coat on the chair there at my machine.
Yeah.
And I'm in there taking a leak, and as I walk out, there's a midget, an old midget.
Yeah.
Not a jockey. I mean, there's jockeys that come into that
right,
too. But a midget.
Right.
And it was an old man midget.
Uh-huh.
And his legs were like about 3 inches long. I mean, I don't know how he walked. He was kind of like shuffling along.
Carefully, I imagine.
Yeah, and he was like maybe 2 feet. I wouldn't say even 2 feet tall. He was the shortest midget I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
And I didn't know what to think. What should I have thought?
Nothing?
I didn't think evil thoughts. I mean, like, I'm going to step on him, or boy, look at that.
I don't know.
I mean, I felt bad.
I would have thought there goes a midget or a dwarf.
Well, I did think that.
Well, then, yeah, you're done.
I thought, well, what do you mean I'm done? I don't know.
What's more to think?
He waddled away, and I guess he knew somebody that was sitting there playing on one of the machines, and she said, and as he was waddling by, she was sitting down in the chair, so he was like almost up to her mouth level, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
She was sitting, and he was waddling. I mean, that's bad, see, because now it sounds like I'm making fun. I wouldn't want to make fun of anybody because of some deformity like that, Well, I could, but I wouldn't want to do it. But it just, I know, I lived all these years, and that's the first time. And you know what? Other good news happened today. A lot of good stuff has happened this morning already. Really good news. Excellent news all the way around. And you know one of the best things is that Dave, I don't know why he said that, why he blurted that out. When I was talking to Dave Johnson, he said he's 65, almost 66. And I found not only is Rick Shaw older than I am, but Dave Johnson's older than I am. Oh! Man, don't you understand when you can be an old fart like me and you find out that people that I mean, I'm not talking about some schmendrick on the street corner who's 90, but I mean somebody who's like a celebrity, who's well known, and they're even older than you are. I know somebody else, not a lot older, but he's older than I am.
That was
in more ways than one, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So didn't that kind of shock you when Dave blurted that out? I was starting to get afraid what he was going to blurt out there today.
You never know. No, why should that surprise me?
Why does what surprise me?
He looks older than you. I've seen, he sends us Christmas pictures and everything every year.
No, he's well.
You don't look as old as you are.
No, I could pass for 63 easy.
Sure.
I don't look a day over 62. No, if I said I was like 58, people would buy it. Not that anybody would. Who the hell would care?
Right.
Who cares about my age? When you get past a certain age, I would say like
about 30, man.
Nobody really cares anymore
That's
how
right.
old you are. You care because then you're getting closer to meeting the Grim Reaper, Robert Grieper, the Lord of the Board. Now, does he still say that? Please tell me no, Miguel, because you listen to that show. You're the one.
Have not heard it in a while.
You haven't heard the show in a while?
No. Lord of the
And
Board.
why is that?
I haven't heard him say that in a while.
Oh, I thought you meant you haven't heard the morning show in a while.
No.
Isn't that what he said, George?
What? I'm sorry, I'm not listening.
Oh. Oh, boy. See, that's one of the reasons he hates coming on and doing the show, because I always put him on, I'll give him a lot of crap.
Yeah, and then
I don't
management
know
comes
why,
up to me later and slaps me.
What?
And then management comes later and slaps me.
Yeah, right. Do they really? No, they don't. No, they don't.
Okay.
Just because you said that the morning show is bad because Clarence keeps interfering and telling him to talk a lot more sports and can he do the show he wants. And don't forget about, since you're the promotion guy, look at the tremendous promotion they've had, too. At least that's why that show is very much like this one.
Well, by the way, I heard you say something the other day, and the programs and like the Heat magazines.
Yes.
You
we
are
didn't
in
used
those.
to be in there. We were not in there
yes,
in the
you
beginning.
are, because I make those. So, and I put you in.
Let me say it again. We were not in there until Norma Kent raised holy hell about it, is what he told me.
That
Now, maybe
is
he's
incorrect,
lying.
sir.
Maybe he's trying to get some brownie points since he doesn't do too much else lately.
Miguel is calling Norm a dirty liar.
I see.
Mentiras.
I beg your pardon?
Mentiras.
Mentira.
Mentiras.
Sounds like something dirty.
Increíble.
Well, in that case, that's Norma then. If that was something dirty, then it's him.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Every day the news is warning we have a yellow light. That must mean they have something to hide. That's how they manipulate headlines. What's green mean? Any kind of subterfuge is useful, like a yellow light. Designed by the corporate media right. And that's why we have a yellow light. Can't explain the meaning of what these lights do. So Congress sits at his desk with a set of blow pens and doodles cartoons. Anytime they want to confuse the news, they have a yellow light. What's that mean? Something they can't define. That's why we have a yellow light, a big light. Anytime they want to.
It's all Boca Brian Friday, baby, as our form of protest against the measly Beasleys who have made this man's life miserable, who have not paid him since March. Finally, I guess, arrangements have been made. Arrangements have been made. We don't have any definitive word, though, as to whether he actually received a check. They should be sending a courier over there to his house. And by the way, this is not... Who is this, by the way? Mia Honky?
I don't know. Old service.
Sitting at home watching the WWF.
Because I had on the MySpace thing, somebody wanted to know if that was a Boca Brian bit. No, it's not, and so maybe I'll play it later, but I doubt it, because I got to get all his bits in. Every one of them, including that. So we'll see. See, as time permits. Yeah, I don't know who that is, Mia Honky, although it's just fine, you know.
Yes.
885 votes on our poll today. We're creeping toward 1,000, but it's Friday the 18th of May, and when you get into this time of the year, man, people are going places and doing things. They want to get out of that smoky environment, man, where they can't breathe the air and where all the misery is all around, and people are rolling down the windows. People you don't even know are pulling up alongside you on the highway and going like that. They want out of there. Even if it's $50 a gallon of gas, they just want out. And I don't blame them. Holiday, Florida. You know where Holiday is?
No.
I don't either. It's in Pasco County.
Okay.
Where's Pasco County?
Up yonder.
There, yeah.
Bet it's north of us.
A longtime scoutmaster arrested a week ago on a charge he exposed himself to an 11-year-old boy is now accused of similar behavior with two other troop members. Boy, the scouts have got some problems, you know what? It's still under investigation and there could still be more victims, Pasco County Sheriff's Office spokesman Kevin Dahl said Thursday. I bet you he's a living doll. After the news media reported Stephen Leroy Greenleaf's May 11th arrest, and as Pasco Sheriff's detectives continued their investigation, the allegations involving more boys surfaced, Dahl said. In one of the new cases, a 16-year-old told the detective that Greenleaf exposed himself and molested the boy when he was between the ages of 10 and 12, a report be saying. The teenager said Greenleaf exposed himself on 40 or 50 occasions. I guess his motto was, when in doubt, whip it out. Either at the scoutmaster's home, in his truck in front of the boy's home, or while on Boy Scout outings, according to the report. On one occasion, as the two sat in the truck, the troop leader urged the boy to expose himself, too. When he did, Greenleaf reportedly molested him until the boy told him to stop. The second new case involves this was a, 11? However old he was. He told him to stop. There wasn't a second and a third and a fourth like that 16-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
I
hear you.
I have a...
I agree. I wonder.
Yeah.
They would say, when
when
somebody's traumatized and this and that and blah, blah, blah.
The second new case involves allegations from another 11-year-old that Greenleaf 53 showed his genitals to during 2 overnight stays at the Scoutmaster's home. And what kind of parents, by the way, let their 11-year-old kids stay overnight at some Scoutmaster's home? That's the first
Bad
question
parents,
that
idiots?
enters my mind. You know, why?
Why?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why? In the first incident, Greenleaf persuaded the Scout to do the same, the report states, and talked to him about being dirty, which the boy defined as exposing sexual organs, drinking, and cursing. Well... that sounds like a party to me. The second incident reportedly happened April 13 while the boy was getting ready for a scout outing. Scout outing?
You fair. We call them scoutings.
Greenleaf, who for years has led Troop 60 of the West Central Florida Council of the Boy Scouts of America, explained to the boy how other troop members act, then pulled down his own pants and suggested sexual acts and told the child, "You do it." In the initial case that led to... he said, "No, let Mikey do it. He likes it, Mikey." In the initial case that led to the first arrest, Greenleaf is accused of making sexual advances toward the first 11-year-old boy during a canoe trip in another county last summer. Then again during an event April 24th at King of Glory Lutheran Church in Newport Richey, where the troop meets. King of Glory.
Yeah, just keep on going. Don't stop at that hole.
Oh, no. What? Did you hear what he just said? I'll find it if it's the last thing.
You're looking for glory hole.
I knew I could find it. Poor Al. What a shame.
Nobody saw that coming.
Greenleaf allegedly cornered the boy in a church bathroom and dared the child to do something. I can't... I don't know what it says. During an interview with authorities, Greenleaf told him he exposed himself on several occasions and said the boy was telling the truth. Greenleaf, an unemployed pediatric nurse who lives in Holiday, Florida, was released from the Land O'Lakes jail. They make that butter, don't they, Land O'Lakes butter?
Yes, they do.
Oh, baby. I wonder where he's sticking that.
Oh, rectum.
Last week after posting $20,000 bail on a charge of lewd and lascivious exhibition. Or maybe it's Crisco for the Cisco Kid. That's one of your people, by the way, Miguel, the Cisco Kid and Pancho. What?
They're Mexicans.
Oh, I know. Why do you think I said it?
I know.
They're Mexican. So in other words, like you're not even related?
No.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Just because my ancestors raped some Indians and forced them to speak
Latinos are
Spanish.
Latinos, baby.
Yeah,
Okay,
and all you Arabs are the same, too.
Your anti-Mexican stance just ain't going to fly.
All you towelheads are all the same,
especially now when this new law goes into effect and 80 gazillion South Americans and Latinos are going to come in wearing guayaberas. Then Miguel's going to go in the guayabera business.
Wear serapes, not guayaberas.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and those hats.
Where they wrap it around. Don't tell me. Anyway, this guy, Greenleaf, was in that. Maybe he knows Dickie Greenleaf. Remember from that movie, Talented Mr. Ripley? I bet you he does know Dickie. He was in the process of being booked into jail last night on the new charges of lewd and lascivious exhibition and lewd and lascivious molestation. He just can't stop, he's just one of them scouting kind of guys, He likes showing the boys a good time or showing them something. 890 on the poll. We're approaching 900. Once we get past 900, then you can breathe easy, because if we don't get to 1,000, boy. No, I'm serious. That would be a black mark, and what they'll do is they'll write it up in Miguel's file. Didn't they write Duff up one time in the file because he had to take the fall for something? I think it was that Condoleezza song. And, that was Greg. Greg always used to keep everybody around because they were his buddies, they thought. And then as soon as he had a chance, he would throw them under the bus. Like how Matty Bell and Fat Boy tried to throw you under the bus? Mm-hmm. With that Treasure Island thing. Whatever happened with that, by the way?
Nothing. I got paid and nothing.
Oh, you got paid?
Sure.
Now, weren't you trying to scam the company on that thing? In fact, all the money that you were trying to scam on there, if they just would have given it to Chicken Neck, he wouldn't have to be begging and carrying on like a petulant child to try to get paid. If he sends me one more, and you know how much I love him, and nobody appreciates his stuff more than I do, but if he sends me another email about this whole situation, I'm going to send it to Bo Camper and have him deal with the situation. I can't deal with it. You know what I mean?
No, what?
Well, I don't know what he wants me to do about it. I went ballistic on the air yesterday. I think that my hysteria has resulted in something happening, right? And the fact that I got you to go and running around, jumping up and down like Rumpelstiltskin on Clarence's desk about it, I think we've accomplished something.
We'll see.
But what else would he like me to do about it, Chicken Neck? What do you want from me, huh? Blood? 895 votes. See, I just figure if I do it dramatic enough, he'll get, because you know how he is. He's so insecure and he gets, oh, jeez. Isn't he? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't he like that anymore?
No, he's still insecure.
Good. The worst thing you ever got sucked into, getting married, 265. We finally got that under 30%, but it's 29.6%. And I have a feeling when the returns come in from the West Coast and over the weekend, it's going to be over 30. I could be wrong. Getting married, 30%. A religion, 160. My job, 116. Supporting the war in Iraq, 111. The stock market before it crashed and burned, and I lost my ass, 96. MySpace, 39. Evidently, there's some people who had some bad experiences on there. I can't imagine how or why, but it's, I guess, bad luck. I've had some bad and I've had some really good. And experiences, too. The Atkins Diet, 38. How are you doing with your Skatkins, by the way?
Great.
Are you still on it?
I told you, yeah.
Well, you can't tell me you're on the Atkins when you had that low-carb pasta. That's not on Atkins.
That's what I said. The only time that I cheated was a couple days ago. I had a little bit of low-carb pasta.
That's like my saying. The only time I cheated this week was those 2 big tubs of bars
that's the
score
same.
ice cream.
That's the same thing.
And the piece of carrot cake.
That you have every day.
Sorry, Zisco, and sorry, Brandon. They're my buddies, and they want to keep me alive, and they really actually care, stuff like that. The Atkins Diet, 38, and I'm failing them. I'm failing myself because I'm eating all that crap, and my blood sugar is not good, and I'm going to wind up having all kinds of stuff going on, and then they can all dance on my grave and say, oh, gee, we didn't really like him anyway. Going to college or grad school, 33. Joining the military, 32. And parenthood, soltanto 5. Only 5 out of 895. And Miguel's wondering, how come he didn't say solamente 5? Because we don't speak Spanish on this show, okay? Italiano. That's what this town needs, is a few more languages. Like English would be good once in a while. Enough with the Picanapani, man. Enough with that. Remember that one day? I forget which day it was. 900 even. Miguel, I think you're in. I think you got it made. We got an hour and 49 minutes to go, and we just need 100 votes. Even with you at the board, we can do that, with your negatory attitude about the morning show. Now, are you somewhat shocked that Man Cow has got a point? Doesn't even show up? Doesn't even show. He doesn't make the needle move on the Richter scale.
That is surprising, actually.
Shocking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there are a lot of things shocking, like our 11 to midnight hour that's got a point. You have seen that, haven't you? Have you actually looked at that? Have you looked at it on a sheet of paper? Huh?
Don't make my way down the list that far.
During the break, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fax to George the sheet that's got the hourlies on it.
All right.
Because I want you to actually look at it in print. And when you see that it says WQAM 11 p.m. to midnight, point. There are no men listening. It's 0. And you know what you're going to say to yourself?
Increíble.
Yeah, something like that. You're going to say, this is not possible. Aren't you?
We'll see.
Well, you've been there a while. Well, I'll show you. I'll fax it to you. No extra charge. 900 even on that poll. Let's hop on it.
Friday, you bastard.
I supported Bush after that tragic day, and to my surprise, disgust and shame, he let the sorties in Bin Laden get away, and shifted the blame to Saddam Hussein.
We got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq.
Hey, how about that?
They're not the ones who attack.
Broken contracts.
What's going on with this crap?
We got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq. Defense contractors are having fun as we spread freedom at the point of a gun. The blood money profits have only just begun for KBR, GE, and Halliburton. Needlessly sending our kids to die. And the drooling mugwumps still support this guy. An advanced stage of syphilis must be the reason why they believe George Bush is Jesus Christ. We're occupying Iraq.
Hey, how about that?
They're not the ones who attack.
Broken contracts.
What's going on with this
We
crap?
got Iraq.
We're occupying Iraq. Boy, George, why do you take so many vacations?
You know, it's hard work. It's hard work. Everybody knows it's hard work. We've done a lot of hard work. I see on the TV screens how hard it is. Yeah,
12:18 at 560 WQAM. Happy Friday to you, May 18th. This is a glorious day, baby. The sun is shining. It is beauteous. And I'm going to get up nice and early tomorrow morning and head off to Woodbine and plunge my guts out and find me a good machine. What's a good machine? Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah, one that pays a lot, schmuck. What's a good machine? Okay, now I just faxed this thing into you, and I'm sure you guys got it, right?
Yep.
Got it.
Do you both have it?
Well, I had it, and then I gave it to
Miguel. You passed
Miguel.
it along?
Sure.
Well, you already know what these numbers are. You've already been weeping like a baby for weeks on this. And now, Miguel, are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
How about the sheet?
And the hours, too.
Evening, 11. Now, first of all, you started at 8 o'clock at night. Now, what would have been on? Panthers hockey during a lot of this. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Correctamundo.
see.
Not that tutu between 6 and 7 was anything to be too thrilled about. That tutu. Oh, my God.
That was funny.
It better be a big tutu, I'll tell you that. 7 o'clock, we go down to a 1.4 share in men. And then at 8 o'clock, after 7 o'clock in the winter, which book is this? The winter book. It's all zeros.
By the way, something. Since I don't know how to stop or cancel faxes on this machine yet.
Yes.
Whoever's sending the 6-page fax in giant print about Michael Moore, stop.
But what about Michael Moore?
Jonathan in Plantation, stop.
What is he sending?
Sicko was completed and we're off to the cans. Yeah, usually. And this is 6 pages of giant print. It could be on one page.
Let me ask it again. Saying what about Michael Moore?
Sicko was completed and we're off to cans. Friends, it's a wrap. It's all about Sicko. It's done. His movie, his latest movie.
Well, that's good. That's great. Let us know when we can see it, and it'll mean something, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jonathan Plantation, I know maybe you're a little off your feed today. Maybe the drug supply ran out or something, but stop. He's usually a good faxer. He's usually wrapped fairly tight. I think there's something in the air today because people have been behaving a little bit strange today. People are strange.
I try to remind people who want to fax us news stories and things like that. Don't.
Like Tony on MySpace sent me a thing that I just read during this last break, and I just deleted it because there's a rumor that Howard Stern wants you on Sirius, and wouldn't that be great? Anyway, there's a rumor that Abe Lincoln liked to play. 8 to 9 p.m., we got a 0.8. This is in men, our target demographic on a sports station, 0.8 in the winter book. 9 to 10 p.m., we drop to a 0.8. Look at these, Miguel. Are there tears running down your cheeks?
No, but...
10 to 11 p.m., 0.2, and there it is. I circled it just for your amazement and
nice
amusement.
little stars and everything.
What does it say from 11 p.m. to midnight?
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
It says point. That's the share. How many people? How many? Exactly.
Not even one.
Nobody. We ain't got nobody.
Well, what do you want following Panthers hockey?
Well, the Panther hockey wasn't on 11 o'clock at night. Well, what are you talking about? You blaming the Panthers now for 11 o'clock at night when they're not even playing? Wouldn't you think if we would have had Eddie K on during that time instead of that garbage ESPN radio that to say 15 cent they put on that at 10 o'clock at night? What was I screaming at that time? Might as well shut the transmitter off. You're throwing in the towel 10 o'clock at night? It's just like the thing with the paying Boca and the thing with no paper clips and the thing. How's that drum coming for the fax machine, by the way, George?
Hey, I got Clarence working on that. He says he's going to order it.
He's going to order it?
Yeah, he funna.
I could get really surly, but if the weekend is here and I'm in a really great mood.
Good.
Everything is beautiful. I'm telling you, things are great. What's not to like? And I'm not going to eat any ice cream today because I don't want... And for myself and for my close personal buddies on there on the MySpace who keep begging and beseeching me to try to keep me alive. They care enough to send their very best. So don't you think that's a good incentive?
It's great. Listen to those people.
Okay. Maybe I'll have some that DeBoles pasta. Not DeBoles. What is it?
DeBalls?
DeBalls, yeah. 916 on the poll and 29.5%. The percentage is dropping a little bit. There's some happy married people out there, maybe 10 or 20. And not everybody is hostile and miserable and hates their spouse.
Like George.
And stuff like that. Uh-oh.
I'm over here reloading the fax machine, sorry.
Reloading the fax machine with paper? We actually have paper in there?
Yeah, it runs out when people keep sending 20-page faxes.
Oh, like Jonathan Plantation, that we don't want 85 copies of a 6-page fax with gigantic letters about how Michael Moore's new movie is out, et cetera, and so on. It'll be great. I can't wait, but let us know when we can see it.
All you bungholes, if it won't fit on one page, say
all
it.
You
You're
what?
away. Huh?
Mungholes. All you mung brains is what he said.
What's a bung?
Mung brain. 920. We'll make 1,000. Not with a lot to spare, I don't think, but that's because Chris isn't here today. Chris usually gets the audience all whipped up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All that energy that he projects. I've never actually laid eyes on him. I mean, I've seen the pictures on our MySpace thing. I've seen it on the
there
website.
There it is. That's a moving picture that I sent you.
It moves me to tears.
That's what he looks like at any given moment.
Really?
Really?
Well, so he's fat. I mean, is that,
Yeah.
Is that it's not a good thing, but I mean, should we make fun of him because he's fat?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Find some other things to make fun of him for, I'm sure.
For what?
Well, he's bald.
He's bald?
How can you tell?
I never really looked that close because once I
he's
saw
always wearing a hat. He's a good guy.
I saw his general
we love you,
appearance.
Chris.
He's a good guy,
He is
for
a very
crying
good
out
guy.
loud. We can't all look great, George, okay? We can't all look
That's right.
sensational and beautiful, okay? Believe you me, if I wanted to turn around and look in that mirror behind me, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the grossest of them all, I'd have to say maybe I'm not looking all that great these days, or any recent days in the last 100 years, you know. But I'm still doing okay. I'm squeaking my way through. I'm faking my way through it. Speaking of fakes, by the way, that NBC News thing last night, Brian Williams teased it at the beginning of the newscast. And they don't say anything. They tease all these big revelations that they're going to come up with, like the thing about what is it in tomato lycopene? Remember when they were saying, oh, if you eat a lot of tomato sauce and tomatoes, you're not going to get cancer because they're prostate cancer. It's good. And then they find out it has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, it tastes good. We like tomato sauce on your pizza and your pasta and your veal and all this stuff. Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good for lunch. Veal parmesan. But you know what? You know what the problem with that is? They put a nice big side of pasta next to it. But no ice cream. You know what it really boils down to? Pick your poison, you know? Pick your poison.
Right.
Because once you get to be diabetic, you can't eat a damn thing anymore anyway. So you might as well, you know, just try to do the best you can. Go get a big juicy steak. Go get a real succulent piece of meat. A research team that includes a former top FBI scientist is challenging the bullet analysis used by the government to conclude that Lee Harvey Oswald alone shot the two bullets that struck and killed President Kennedy. The evidence used to rule out a second assassin is fundamentally flawed, concludes a new article in the Annals of Applied Statistics written by former FBI lab metallurgist William A. Tobin and Texas A&M University researchers Cliff Spiegelman and William D. James. The article continues, the researchers' reanalysis involved new statistical calculations and a modern chemical analysis of bullets from the same batch Oswald is purported to have used. They reached no conclusion about whether more than one gunman was involved, but urged that authorities conduct a new and complete forensic reanalysis of the 5 bullet fragments left from the assassination in Dallas. Oswald didn't kill anybody, and there certainly was somebody shooting from behind a grassy knoll, because that's where all the smoke and mirrors were coming from, and that's where everybody was running toward. But don't confuse the public with the facts. And the one thing that Brian Williams did say last night is that we're never going to know. We're never going to know. It happened in my lifetime. I was like 22 years old when it happened, 21. And we're never going to know. Because the government lies a lot, because all this crap we're not supposed to know. If they decide we're not supposed to know, you know what happens? We don't know. Like if Joyce decides we're not supposed to say something, we don't say it. If we're not supposed to make sounds, we don't make sound. That's just the way it goes.
Making sounds with your mouth again?
I'm making sounds with my mouth.
Friday, you bastard.
Ain't no fart sounds anymore. Oh! Ain't no fun sounds like before.
All right.
Ain't no fart sounds anymore. 'Cause some stinky corporate whore named Joyce took them away.
You fairy.
Can't say now. All because of some bitch cow. Just to bring the ratings down. She don't want Neil around, and that's why she took them away.
I'm dying over here.
And she blows, 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 you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, she blows, 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 she stinks, 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 she blows, she blows, she blows, she blows, she stinks, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow. Ain't no fart sounds anymore since that yeast-infected whore. Yankee Joyce took them away.
No, that's worth waiting through the whole thing. That
You bet.
yeast-infected whore.
Oh, yeah.
Joyce took them away.
Who specializes in bore. Oh. 941 votes on the poll. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to that nifty 1,000, even with Miguel sitting there at the switch. And, of course, Miguel is like in a coma. He don't want to hear from any of this. Do you?
No.
So why don't you analyze for us what the problem is, why these numbers are, so many of them start with a...
Oh!
Huh? Now that we got the Marlins on there, we should get up to at least 1s and 2s there with the baseball.
No, Marlins bring 3s.
In the past. You're living in the past, mister. That's back when the rest of the station was doing like 4s and 5s and 6 and 7s and 9s and 10s and, like that. Un de chi, do de chi, tre de chi, whatever.
Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq.
Right. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, sept.
Un what?
French.
Deux, da. I don't know. It's that frog style. I don't like French. I don't like the people. I'm sure we have some nice French people listening in the audience. I doubt it, though. I would take that back. I did meet a couple nice French people when I was in Paris. But that's another story. That has to do with sex and perversion, not to do with,
I want to go to Paris.
You want to go to Paris? Well, I'm sure George will send you. He's got a big bonus coming up from this book.
Yeah.
Oh, woo! Now, you know something? During this next break, what I need to do, since Clarence doesn't tell us anything, I'll look up when the next trend is coming out. Now, the good part about the next trend is, unless we fall right on our ass in the month of April, which is possible, of course, but we're going to be dropping off that horrendous January when we got really Scrooged, really bad, and when across the street they got, a whole bunch of wired diaries, and they're going to be dropping that off. And then all of a sudden they're going to get real quiet. Unless, of course, they get a bunch of wired diaries again, or unless maybe they really have an audience now. That's possible. Unlikely, but except for Joe. Now, what do we hear about Joe? Any rumors, any scuttlebutt you hear, Miguel, that we can actually put on the air that we aren't supposed to? But what do you hear?
I hear nothing, actually.
No. We want Joe Rose back now. We want him on there on Monday morning. With all due respect, pay off Kenny and Bo a whole big bunch of, an IOU would be good. First pay Boca Brian and then worry about those guys. Although Miguel says Kenny would be doing a hell of a show. Now, is that with or without Bo Camper? I see. Okay, well, your silence, I think. See, I don't want to put words in your mouth and put you in a delicate position, especially with a guy who's 8 feet tall and could,
hurt me real bad.
Stomp on you real bad without even working up a sweat. He could just make you almost disappear. Step on you like a gnat. So you don't have to say a word. He is like, duller than an 80-year-old razor blade, but that's beside the point. He's a good guy. And his buddies over there at University Dodge send us a lot of good faxes.
He's not there anymore, by the way.
Whatever happened to our buddy from the Deckard LLP in Philadelphia law firm?
He's not part of University Dodge.
Who is not?
Bo.
He's not?
No.
I thought that was his dealership.
It is not.
What?
It is not. You don't hear him doing spots for Rick Case?
Always, or what? Now, are you telling me he was never at University Dodge?
No, he was, but he hasn't in at least since he.
Well, how the hell am I supposed to know that? I'm not there. I'm out of touch. I thought that the big cow from Dan Dowd was in front of a University Dodge out loud.
No, this is why I'm informing you, because you're out of touch.
Well, so in other words, we're always blaming the people of Bo Camper for all those groupies at University Dodge. Those are his former friends, I guess, if he's with Rick Case now. Don't make a federal case out of it. But I'm glad you informed me. See, that's why it's good having you there, because you know a little bit about what's going on outside the building. Chris, on the other hand, unless it has to do with food, he's not really very familiar with what's going on around him. And that's the way us fat people are. We're like obsessed with food. 9:46, we're stuck there. And you notice, thank God it's not 1:37. I'd be sweating bullets. It's 12:37. It's always like between 35 and 40 when Eric steps on the brake. He just slams on the thing, and none of the votes come through. Then all of a sudden, when I start bitching about on the air, he'll take his foot off, and bada bing. Yeah, like a whole chunk will come through there. Like at least 2 or 3 anyway. Come on, Eric, take your foot off that brake and quit playing with my emotions. 9:47? Still 9:47. See, he's slammed that down. Just like in that, if anybody wants to see a good movie this weekend that they haven't seen, The Hitcher, the original one, and you told me they remade it? Somebody needs to get shot for that. The fact that they remade that movie. That movie does not need to be remade.
Of course not, but they do it all the time.
The Hitcher?
Because they got no original ideas. Now, did you see The Hitcher?
Yeah, I saw them both.
The new one?
I saw the new one, too.
And how's the new one?
I didn't like, what's his name in the first one. He was too girly.
C. Thomas Howell?
C. Thomas Howell.
He's too girly?
He was a wuss in that movie, man.
He's too pretty? Is that what you're trying to say? He was too pretty in that movie? Yeah. He's getting pretty old now, I would think.
I think Miguel dislikes him for the same reason you do like him.
I see, because he was too pretty.
He had a party mayo.
He was...
No, he was good as Pony Boy.
As what?
Pony Boy.
Excuse me.
Oh, good one.
So now, that isn't what I asked you, whether you liked C. Thomas Howell. I'd like to see him, back in those days, naked. But that's beside the point. Rutger Hauer liked to see him for lunch.
He was good.
Rutger Hauer was great. He made the whole movie. The relationship between Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell is what that movie was all about.
Right, but I would have fought Rutger Hauer.
So, tell me about the new one. Does it suck?
The new one has a hot chick in it, so.
Now, see, that's the same thing as saying you didn't like C. Thomas Howell because he was too pretty or whatever.
Right.
That's not what the movie's all about.
Jason Lee was hot enough.
I mean, no, but point being that the chick in the new one was tougher than C. Thomas Howell in the original. You know what I mean? Like, she had more...
First of all, C. Thomas Howell is not...
Yeah.
He's not a girly man, okay? I don't know where you come up with this crap. It's got to be that Cuban thing in you, you know? It's just,
I didn't say he was a girly man. He just in the movie, his character was a wuss.
Yeah. So I know plenty of macho guys who are wusses, you know, in many ways. So that doesn't make them bad people. He never stole a freight train, and he invented finger food.
No, it wasn't a personal shot at him. I'm just saying the character he played
Why
in the movie.
can't you talk about the movie, for Christ's sake?
What
all you heterosexual people, that's all you do is watch movies to find some hot chick. Just like all I do is watch movies to find some hot young guy.
Yeah.
And at least we're being honest. So have you answered the question about whether the new one is any good? It did not.
No, it was bad.
Oh, I see. So, like I said, don't go out and rent or buy or steal the new version of The Hitcher because it really sucks. It didn't need to be remade. The original one, which I don't know what year it was, with C. Thomas Howell and Rutger Hauer, is great. It is excellent. If you like a horror movie, I mean, it's, you know, if you like that genre, man. And the new one's got some hot chick in there. Is she, like, naked or something? I mean, is there anything really worthwhile?
Who's the chick?
Sophia something? I forget.
Did she get naked?
Panties, I think.
I don't count.
Yeah, what's the big deal with that?
Panties.
Yeah, what's the big deal with that? Especially, I mean, Ned Beatty had panties, too. You want to go see that again?
Patois Friday, you bastards.
They got a real pretty male thing.
The station that delivers presents
Got a live one here.
A Deliverance Weekend. All weekend long. You can qualify by winning video cassettes of the movie Deliverance.
What is it you require?
We require that you listen to the radio all weekend long.
Don't say anything, just do it.
The grand prize winner will be flown to Dothan, Georgia for a canoe trip for two down the Cohulawasi River, including accommodations in beautiful Antrim. It's easy to win.
Now let you just drop them pants. Just take them right off. Them panties. Take them off.
Simply be the 10th caller every time you hear Ned Beatty squeal like a pig. It's a Deliverance Weekend, all weekend long. From the station that gets you where it hurts. Q95.
12:45. That's it from our good friends, the great Bob and Tom. They really are great. And too bad that some people in this business didn't realize that they would really do well in certain markets. I don't want to mention any names or start stirring up any trouble. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because if I make a suggestion, whatever I say, they'll do the opposite.
Right.
Am I right?
You are.
So I really think that we're kicking ass ancient style on a morning show. They ought to continue forcing them to do a lot more sports. And we ought to have a lot more sports writers on the air. I heard Mad Dog... When the hell did I hear this? Was it yesterday? And he was promoting the fact that Dave Hyde was going to be his guest? Mad Dog... What?
For the Power Hour.
What is this obsession that this radio station's got with these flunky sports writers from the Herald and the Scum Sentinel? What is that all about? And then this morning, Kenny was like sucking up to Alex Marvez like he was like Jesus on a motorcycle. I mean, what was that all about? Luckily, the good news was I think Alex is going on a long vacation. Now, if we could just take our windbag and some of these other people with him. Dave, go hide.
Okay.
Not that I have anything against newspaper people, but what is the point of all of that? If those people are such sports mavens, why do we fire the people we got on the air that we're paying a lot of money to and hire those people to do the shows if people really want to hear them? And I think that sheet I just faxed to you indicates people don't really want to hear them at all. I could be wrong about that. But I don't think so. Yeah, not that I want to keep railing and ranting and raving about that. Miguel.
What do you know?
That's right. What the hell would I know about that? I'm not a sports nerd, man. I don't go around sniffing jockstraps unless Brady Quinn once wore it. And, of course, he's busy squeezing stuff anyway. My God. Now, did you see that picture we put on there yesterday?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Were you?
No, yeah.
What do you mean you were just looking at that?
I'm on your page, and I was looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
There's lots of funny things on here.
Right under the pool, there's Brady Quinn. He seems to always have his hand, at least this time it's on his own, you know. I think in his case that's probably better for his reputation, that he's got his hand on his own goods, as opposed to that kid who looks very uncomfortable and shocked. Although that's obviously a stage thing, and it's supposed to be very funny, and I'm sure they never thought that would get out into general circulation.
Yeah, everything gets on.
But exactly. I don't feel sorry for people like, oh, gee, that's embarrassing. Well, you shouldn't have had your hands in each other's crotches in the first place. If you're going to be some kind of a macho jock, then you're going to wind up getting drafted 22nd by Cleveland, and who the hell wants to go to Cleveland? Well, no wonder the Dolphins didn't want any part of him. Everybody in the crowd would have been yelling, hey, Brady!
You fairy!
Yeah.
Him and his Bernie Kosar jersey.
Now, you picking on Bernie Kosar now? What are you saying about him?
What?
Poor Bernie. As long as I live, I'll never forget the day that he and Alan Cohen bought the Florida Panthers. I'll never forget that. And they had him on the worst team in the morning. Wasn't the worst team still on? Whoever the hell was on. He was a guest, Bernie Kosar. And I come in, and I'm sitting there getting ready to do the show, and he comes into the studio there, and he says to me, hey, Neil, we bought the Panthers. Like a little girl, like an excited little girl. We bought the Panthers. And, of course, after that, they shoveled him off to the side. And you notice how long he was involved. How many minutes was he involved in that whole deal?
About 30, man.
30 minutes. And we didn't see Bernie no mas.
Nope.
He was supposed to be like the face man. Like he was going to get everybody all whipped up and excited about the fact that Alan Cohen bought the Panthers. And who cares about the Panthers now? Anybody?
No.
In fact, look at those numbers there. Read them in wheat, baby. Those are your winter Florida Panther game numbers on QAM. We owe points. There's a couple hours that have a minus in front of it. Just like we're doing on this pool. We're struggling, man, to get to 1,000 a day, and that's because everybody's gone. Anybody with a brain who's capable, who doesn't have to work their ass off, like us, we got to work like crazy. And then we got Victoria Day here coming on Monday. Can't I take that day off? No.
No.
We got 964 on the pool, though. What's the worst thing you ever got sucked into? Well, we'll get to 1,000, but, boy, it's not easy. And it's because of Friday. Now, aren't the kids out of school like next week, or when is that?
George.
I don't know.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? You've got 2 kids, for Christ's sakes, in
One is out of school.
One is out of school?
We already had this conversation, Mr. Cena. Twice, I think.
Yeah, but it kills some good time.
No problem. One is out of school, and the other one is in school, and that's somebody else's job to deal with it.
Yeah, so in other words,
I pay the bills.
You're not giving me an answer now, just like you did in the first time. That's why I'm asking again. See, I have this.
I have
this very annoying habit.
11
that is
days.
If I ask somebody a question and they don't answer it, I ask the question again. And I wonder to myself,
why?
Didn't they answer it the first time?
11 more days or so. I did answer the first time.
Oh, all right. So that isn't the excuse why people are bailing out. But people that don't have kids that aren't tied down, this is the real heavy-duty beginning of vacation time because it's almost Memorial Day. And you wait till you see next weekend. Wow. Woo! Heavy, heavy duty. And then once we get to June, you won't see me very much. Now, is that on it? No, that's not on the White Album. You Won't See Me by the Beatles. I do love that, though. That's a great song. You got it?
One of them.
You Won't See Me. Oh, gee, that's a good song. 964 on the poll. The worst thing you've ever got sucked into, getting married. 279. And the good news is we're now under 29%. For quite a while, it was well over 30. And now it's 28.9%. Makes you feel a little bit better about the institution of marriage. And, of course, a lot of people who got married feel like that's where they belong, or at least their spouse, in an institution. A religion, 172, got sucked into that crap. My job, 127. Supporting the war in Iraq, 118, very foolish people. The stock market, people who are crashed and burned your money like having a bonfire in their backyard, like going to Woodbine and just shoveling in 100 after 100 after 100 and plunging your guts out, 109. MySpace, 40. And by the way, Felix the Cat, that's who that guy is now? He's Felix the Cat?
Okay.
He sent me a gruesome story, but it didn't make any sense to me. I would have read it on here because I use all of his stories. They're all very good. But it was about some MySpace murderer and something. It just I don't know. It wasn't readable on the air. Maybe he'll resend it or we'll just forget about it. But thanks anyway, Felix. Felix the Cat. Then you'll know who that is. The guy that you were ripping and asked the other day. Well, if he knows how to put that cartoon up there, well, maybe he doesn't want to put his picture.
His excuse is inexcusable.
Well, maybe we don't want to see him. Maybe he's
that's a very valid point.
Or maybe he's too pretty, like C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah, that could be it.
I still don't understand that. I mean, he was cute, okay, C. Thomas Howell. He was cutesy. He was in that movie The Outsiders or The Insiders.
Great movie.
And that is a good movie with Matt Dillon was in it and Tom Cruise and all those punky and Emilio Estevez. Or as the bird used to say, Emilio Estevez. They were all in that when they were like, 20-ish, whatever. Right. And he was cute. Cutesy, But I never thought he was like girly looking.
The character was girly.
In The Hitcher, the character was girly?
Yes.
I think you're squirrely, mister. I don't know what you're talking about. What movie did you watch? He wasn't girly. He was just...
He was a little wuss. Man up a little bit.
When he stepped into that prison thing there, whatever the hell that room was, and he walked up to Rutger Hauer and spit on his face.
Oh, tough guy. Yeah.
You're telling me that was a girly thing? Ah! There you go. Right from his bowels, he let loose.
And when he's sitting in the diner with his hands in his face, and then Rutger Hauer appears, he peed his pants.
And so would you have if Rutger Hauer was busy chasing you around, chopping everybody up, and putting fingers in the fries, making up little finger food. I did like that.
Yeah.
There was a finger in the fries. That'll teach you to be eating in French fries. I wonder if they put mayonnaise on the finger. And then you know what they do after? You know what they do after they put the mayonnaise on the finger? Oh, gee, come on, that's bad. 979. Can I ever get to read this, or is it just, because then they're going to say, see, he's just reading this poll real slow, like he just wants to kill a bunch of time instead of coming on and, and taking a bunch of your great calls, okay? Listen to me right now. All you people out there that are enchanted with those stupid calls, I hope you have a real good memory. That's what I have to say. We took a call today, right?
By mistake.
Dave Johnson?
Yeah.
No, you did that. One of you guys did that, put like a word or two on here.
That was a word.
And you know something? I think it was like a real caller, too, but that's okay. I'll take that chance. I'll live with my conscience. Getting married, bad mistake, they said, 283. The worst thing they ever got sucked into. Religion, 176. My job, 128. Supporting the war. I thought I just read all these. Supporting the war in Iraq, 119. The stock market before it crashed, 111. Going to college or grad school, 40. MySpace, 40. That's where I left off. The Atkins diet, 40. Now, why would that have been? I don't get it.
Maybe it didn't work for them.
And you want to know why the Atkins doesn't work? Because they didn't stay on it.
That's right.
If you stay on it, it works. You know that.
Right, yeah.
Joining the military, 34, and thank God they're still alive. We bless you, folks. And parenthood is up to 8. Soltanto 8. Solamente 8. See, that's to make Miguel happy, because very upset when I start with the Italian. I know at least 40 words in Italian. Only 5 or 10 in French. La plume de ma tante. Wasn't that what Linda Blair was babbling in French in The Exorcist, right?
I don't recall.
La plume de ma tante. You remember that scene?
No.
He had the tape recorder going?
I remember a lot of other scenes where she said a lot of other things and they weren't in French.
Your mother sews socks in hell.
That's
I mean,
one
like
of them.
that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And let Jesus.
Let Jesus into your heart? Is that what you said? Into your
somewhere.
Heart. Let Jesus into your part, I guess is what you were saying. Because that's how he does what you was thinking
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, I guess he's going to be pretty busy if Jesus is going to be doing that. And, of course, that pea soup, man, it's one thing I told you, there's 2 or 3 kinds. I'm a soup lover, but, boy, when you ask in a restaurant what's the soup of the day and they say pea soup, you just want to pee all over the table. Oh, pea soup.
Yuck.
Ooh. Or split pea soup. Isn't that what it usually is?
Yeah,
split
same
pea?
difference.
Or black bean soup or something like that. Kidney bean soup. Oh, man. Talk about crap for Goyam. Now, kidney beans, is that more of that Mexican chow that you're always screaming about?
I don't know.
Kidney beans? Although we do like Taco Bell a lot. Don't you like Taco Bell?
Yeah, I do.
What's not to like? And it's Mexican. It's Mexican.
Yeah.
It's not Cuban food.
Mexican.
No. What is it?
That's fake Mexican.
It's ersatz, but it's still, it's good. Who cares what it is? It's good, okay?
Who said I didn't like Mexican food?
I don't know. You don't like Mexicans.
Who said that?
Get out of here. Oh, my God.
Come to 2 hour.
Hallelujah, baby. We play that one non-Boca Brian bit, by the way. Sorry.
Back in the day when someone done us wrong,
Bob and Tom.
we didn't take their crap.
Sorry, Chicken Neck.
In Pearl Harbor, when the Japs dropped their bombs, we bombed them back. And now the Saudis, they hit us hard. And on our cards, our little flags wave. As that Saudi-loving retard points the bombers the wrong way. And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where they follow Bush like sheep. The United States of arrogance, led by Bush and his family, greed they got this country. And the link towards the darkest days in our history. I don't want to be a Pax American in the USA. What's a few thousand innocent lives? Stop living in the past. If you want that SUV to drive, you're gonna need more gas. It's the greatest country in the world. they train us to believe. And anyone who says that, obviously, can't afford to leave.
Absolutely.
And I'm embarrassed to be an American, where we patriotically wave a flag in one hand with our head in the sand and blindly follow the powers that be. Apathetic. Watching state run news on a 65-inch screen. Scratcher fire, everything's okay. In the USA.
A bald-headed genius, baby, a chicken-necked lunatic.
Okay.
I was trying to find a nice word. And he has to beg to get paid by this company. Has to get on his hands and knees like a dog.
Tragic.
And put his paws up in the air. Oh, please. I did like the caustic fax, the email he sent to Clarence yesterday. I did like that. Don't be sending me any more of them. No, don't copy me on it. See, he thinks if he sends me copies of that I'm going to, move mountains for him or something. What am I going to do? Besides come on the air here and rip them an ass that they so richly deserve, by the way. If I'm in charge of a company that's listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange and I'm asking people to buy stock in my horseball company and I don't even pay my bills, even the little ones, I can understand not paying big ones like the Marlin broadcast rights and all this other crap. It's really something when somebody sits down with you at lunch and says, well, we've been a sports station for X number of years and we've lost money every year. And I'm thinking to myself, they don't lose money on this show. You can take that to the bank. You can take all that money to the bank.
Right.
Do they make money on the Marlins?
No.
Have they ever made money on the Marlins?
No.
Are they I don't want to go into the other thing because, they're going to, oh, gee, we just got the Dolphins back. Yeah, well, good. 992 on the pool. Well, Miguel knows what that's all about. He knows that we get horsewhipped if we even, look cross-eyed at anybody, even if Jay Fiedler came back. Oh, he's a good Jewish boy. So I just got nothing to say about them. I mean, they suck, but that's beside the point. And who's the quarterback going to be? Well, whatever happened with the deal at Kansas City? Did that ever happen?
Nope.
So why do they keep talking about the fact he's going to be the quarterback when they haven't even got him yet? What the hell's his name? Green, Trent Green.
Right.
Right? He used to look pretty good. Damn, man. Now, there was a pretty guy. Prettier than C. Thomas Howell, I'll tell you that. You don't think so? Trent Green, he was a pretty... Of course, that a long time ago. He's 80 years old now. Well, yeah, he's about 80. And they're talking about him because they know it ain't going to be no Dante's Culpeppers, and they know damn well they should have drafted Brady Quinn. They could have sold $80 zillion worth of Brady Quinn jockstraps already in the meantime, but I'm not going to start in with that. It's not my business. And none of my beeswax. I mean, it's the bee's knees that we got the Dolphins back.
Well, that's sports, so definitely on that one. What do you know?
That's right. What could I possibly know about it? 996 on the pool. I mean, just because I was the one person on this station screaming after Marino hung it up that why doesn't this franchise ever draft a young star quarterback of the future that they can build around? Like the Patriots did, or like championship teams do. But I'm not saying any of that anymore.
Well, like they did with Marino.
Yeah, exactly. He was drafted number 8,000 or something like that. Little did they know. And there was Brady Quinn sitting right there at number 9. He had that big smile on his face. He had that pasty-looking blonde girlfriend. I think she's just a beard. I wouldn't be surprised in his spare time if he is one of the village people, you know what?
Well,
that's what George said.
That's what that outfit was.
Yeah, he was wearing a village people outfit, and that looked awfully, and I read all those rumors. Of course, most of that's wishful thinking. Because one thing about us fags, we see a good-looking guy right away, we want to, oh, he's gay. Yeah, we heard about it. Where'd you hear about it? I just made it up.
Gay.
Yeah. It's wishful thinking. But I mean, what kind of a guy keeps being photographed grabbing his own privates, or grabbing, and even worse, grabbing somebody else's privates?
That's a Michael Jackson move right there.
Right. Now, isn't that what I said on the air, George, at the time?
Yep.
When we saw that picture, it was the Michael Jackson glove, holding the crotch and the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this thing about putting his hands on a guy's crotch. Sometimes his own, sometimes somebody else's, that's all. So what's the big deal with that? At least he knows where to find the ball. A 400-pound gorilla escaped. This is from Felix the Cat, by the way. I want to give him credit because he's working feverishly to supply us with a lot of good stories here. And if I'm going to be sitting here read for 4 hours, at least Miguel can say, well, a couple of those were fairly interesting, although I can't think of any that were. But, a 400-pound, how about all those Boy Scout people, huh? Those troop leaders?
I think I missed those.
A 400-pound gorilla escaped from his enclosure and ran amok in a Rotterdam zoo Friday. You know Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Holland?
What about
Rotterdam. Biting one woman, dragging her around, and causing panic among dozens of visitors before he was finally subdued, officials and a witness said. How do you like that? The Diergaard Blijdorp Zoo. See, one thing about the Dutch, boy, oh, brother, what a language. And the J is silent. Blijdorp Zoo. It's like the Bijenkorf is the big department store with a J in it. The Bijenkorf. And there's a candy store. Not that I would buy candy, although I do. You know what they have there in the front? They got Ben & Jerry's. They got the scoop thing, Ben & Jerry's.
Okay.
A big candy store. And it's Jamin. Now, you know how I pronounce that?
Yaman.
That's right, Yaman.
Okay.
Anyway, the zoo was evacuated. The 11-year-old gorilla named Boquito was eventually contained in a restaurant within the park, and I'm sure he sat down and had a fine meal. Somebody's got to get some good food in the Netherlands. Boy, their food really blows. So bad. Boquito was shot with a sedative dart and recaptured, said zoo spokeswoman Lillian Jonkers. Oh, Yonkers. That's it's with a J. Yonkers. She was going bonkers, but she couldn't say what condition he was in. Now, what's that song by Kenny Rogers in the first edition? I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. I like that song. It's good. 68 or 69. You got it. It's on Roulette Records. Or a reprise record. Reprise, whatever that was. Frank Sinatra label. And Trini Lopez, too. If I had a hammer, I'd smack your brains in. It was not immediately clear how the gorilla managed to climb the high stone wall surrounding his enclosure. He got over the moat, which is in itself remarkable because gorillas can't swim. How do you like that? He got onto a path for visitors, started running, and went at full speed through tables and diners at the Oranje restaurant. A witness, Robert de Jong, told NOS Radio that he didn't see the gorilla escape but began following it and tried to help after he saw people running and screaming that the animal grabbed a woman. There were 4 people injured by the 11-year-old gorilla. I saw the beast running through the park with a woman behind him, grabbing her forearm. If you ever saw the beast running through a park, the running part, first of all, I'd pay to watch that. Running. Yeah. At a distance of around 30 yards, he saw the gorilla lie down near the woman and then heard her scream. He bit her, or I think he bit her, because when he stood up, his mouth was covered in blood. He was making sounds with his mouth. He then said he stopped to tell arriving police what happened and ran with them as they traced the gorilla to a nearby restaurant terrace where he probably stopped for a little lunch. Oh, my God. How do you like that? Why would anybody care about that story except for Felix the cat? I only read it because you took the trouble to send it, you know? Mm-hmm. And because it would kill some good time. And I knew when I finished reading it, you know how many votes we'd have on the poll? 1,000. 1,000. I'm going to tell you something. That was the toughest 1,000 votes I think I've had in ages, in a gorilla's age on this show. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure, why not? Whatever you say.
That was a battle. And I'm not blaming it on Miguel, although. Chris he's the pool guy, you know?
I thought you were.
He's in the pull position. In fact, he's in the prone position. Now, what is his story? What is he ill with today? Has he got like the flu, or is he...
He didn't say. I just got that one text that he was up all night sick and he would not be in.
And you believe that?
Sure, why not?
3-day weekend, man.
Good for him.
And more power to him. And the kind of money they're paying him, although he gets paid by the hour. Now, does he get docked for the sick day, or how does that work?
I don't know.
Yeah. No work, no pay.
Are you serious?
When you get paid by the hour, yeah.
Well, when you're making the big bucks he is, you can afford to take a day off here or there like that. Very sad. Don't forget, we got the Mad Dog for 3 hours today from 2 to 5 because no Humper. Humper is in, where is he? Baltimore. Because we got the Preakness coming up tomorrow. And do we carry that on the air or what? We had the Derby on, but we do not have the Preakness. And you want to know why we don't have the Preakness?
No.
I have no idea. Oh, because we got UM baseball.
No, I think it's whoever's carrying the game.
What do you mean by that?
If it's Westwood One or whoever's the carrier.
What are you talking about? Carrying the Preakness?
Right.
We had the Derby on.
Right. So the Preakness would be on somebody else.
Why is that?
I don't know.
ABC had the Derby and they got the NBC and they got I'm sure they got the Preakness. So Dave Johnson retired. We got that news today. We also got the news he's 100 years old. Well, I'll tell you one thing about him, man. He sure, when in doubt, he blurts it out. You know, he's great. Gotta love Dave Johnson. He picked Street Sense, by the way, to win again, and so did I. He hooked him up with Curlin, and I hooked him up with Hard Spun, which is about a $3 exacta. You're not going to get Rich Benton my pick, or his. Street Sense. I still like Street Meat, I think is a better name for a horse, don't you? And if he loses, that's what you turn him into. Street Meat. Oh, there's Alberto VO5 Gonzalez. He's going next. He's going to be next. First it was like Paul Wolfowitz combing his hair back and spitting on that comb, and then it's going to be Alberto VO5. Maybe if Alberto would loan him some of his VO5, he wouldn't have had to do that.
We'd only hope.
These are the kind of people that are running the country into the ground. Okay, running the country into the ground. Keep those words going, those few words right after you say running the country into the ground. All these dead people. And, of course, there's Wolf Blitzkrieg, the JFK, possibly a second shooter. It was only 43 and a half years ago. Like we really know, huh? Like anybody's going to have the real answer. It's like saying, who killed Cock Robin, you know? Like Geraldo looking in, whose tomb was it?
Al Capone.
Al Capone, yeah. It's like saying, where's Jimmy Hoffa buried? Is he really under the Meadowlands? I mean, these are all these questions, and nobody ever gets any answers because the government lies a lot.
Goodbye, Jay Fiedler.
Oy.
Now I can't fiddle with it. Guess that's what happens when a Jew wraps his hands around a fat pigskin and the villain round his jockstrap too. Your supple buns are very smooth. I used to like to squeeze them. I remember taking Millie's steam baths at the golf resort where we used to shave each other's legs. It's all over now for my steam room pal who threw the pole like a gal. And now I'm stuck here with that pipe-smoking ginger bag at the door. Escadash is scriptable, football is for boys. I want to set the record straight that I ain't never said
Which reminds me, of course, what compendium of Boca Brian crap would be complete without a whole bunch of Mo stuff, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, see, that's what happens to you because you start thinking that that's the real character, you know what I mean? That's
right.
the real person, and of course it's not. It's the entertaining one, just like that's the entertaining one, as opposed to the annoying squeaky one. We'll be on at 5 this afternoon. Maybe we can get some hockey talk. Red Wings went down to Anaheim 5-3 last night. All right. Excellent. And they had Stevie Yzerman on there between periods, articulating and eraculating. And, boy, he sure looked good to me still, even at his age. He's even prettier than C. Thomas Howell. I just don't know what you're talking about. In fact, you know something? I'm going just because of Miguel, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get that movie again and watch it this weekend.
Okay.
The Hitcher. That's one of my favorite movies. I think it's a great movie. You don't think it's forgetting about what he looked like or what a wuss he was, you don't think that was an excellent movie?
Yes, it was.
Well, so what's the problem then?
That he was a wuss in the movie.
And it was one of those movies, the ending left you feeling there definitely was going to be a sequel, and there wasn't. See, it didn't need to be remade. What it needed was a sequel.
Sure.
Right?
Right. They're both still alive. You could have C. Thomas Howell running around being a killer this time.
Or you could have Rutger Hauer spitting in his face. Now, I'm not going to...
In the new one, that truck thing works.
Yeah.
You see separation in the new movie.
Separation of the body?
Yes.
Well, you know that's going to be in there because of the special effects. So, see, they make a bunch of fancy special effects that's supposed to make a movie, okay? Well, we didn't have these when we first made the movie, the special effects. So, like, the body was, like, splitting apart because the two trucks were, like, she was a little tied up at the moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Ruin it for people, why don't you?
Yeah, so just a little bit of separation. No, that's good because then, people go out and see it because they want to see a lot of blood and guts and gore. Not a good movie, which the original one was outstanding. 1,009 votes on the poll and 8 say Parenthood. Did I ever even get down to that? I don't know. I'm doing really a very good reading on this. Not that it makes any difference or that anybody really cares because they're all busy running over to Schlockbuster. I don't know. Is that movie a little bit too intense for them to carry there?
No. Besides, they sold, what?
Watch it.
Watch what?
They sold what?
Whatever. Wayne has no interest in them anymore, and
who?
Wayne, whoever it was, whatever they're.
He hasn't had any interest in that in Dog's Age. I mean, it's
right. I have no idea what they're doing anymore, but
But they're not censoring the movies. Is that what you're trying to say?
As far as I know, I haven't gone horror movies there.
Well, thank God for that. Cindy Sheehan, who's got a column almost every day now, and thank goodness for her because she at least she's like Doug Thompson, man. She holds nothing back. She opens up her mouth and makes sounds with her mouth and really tells it like it is. She says, before the Iraq War, I thought Tony Blair had some courage and integrity because of the British support after the attacks of 9/11. Of course, we're all very close allies. But when he went along with George Bush in the war of aggression when he knew it was wrong, we know that because of the Downing Street memos, he showed that he was as avaricious as the Bush administration. I believe that Blair was used as much as Colin Powell was for his integrity. I believe he gave a lot of credibility to the lies of the Bush administration in the eyes of the rest of the world. He could have said to Parliament, this is a bunch of baloney, it's lies, they're drawing up these false reasons for war. Why did Blair not say, enough, this will be an unmitigated disaster and has to be stopped? If Tony Blair goes into a consultancy with a company that does war profiteering, I think it'll be deplorable. Going on the speaking circuit will be making money from our dead soldiers and the hundreds of thousands of dead Iraqis. As regards the Congressional Gold Medal, Blair must have got it when Republicans were in control of Congress. Second, it further diminishes what medals mean in our country. I mean, George Bush gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to George Tenet, former director of CIA, and Tommy Franks, former head of Central Command. For all these honorable people, their lives in their treasonous, premeditated war, my son and hundreds of thousands of others are dead or wounded. A country is being destroyed on a daily basis, and Bushko is still free to commit their crimes against humanity. It might show a tiny bit of integrity for Blair not to receive his medal, says Cindy Shea. She is pissed off and fired up, and rightfully so. And she's got the courage of her convictions, and she goes around writing and speaking and marching and protesting. And, of course, they do the old smear and schmear on her, too, just like they did on Michael Moore. By the way, how many copies of that fax you got about that new movie is?
None.
Now, what is it called? The new Michael Moore movie. Jonathan Plantation was faxing you 8 million copies before.
Right. Sicko, Sick Nation,
Sicko.
Something sick.
Yeah, Sicko. It's about the crappy medical care in the U.S. Or you can just go watch George C. Scott in the Hospital. That's another Paddy Chayefsky film.
Yeah, it's also very good.
Hospital. Excellent. Not as good as...
I'm as mad as hell, but I'm not going to take this anymore. Oh!
Network, but damn close. Pretty good. Depressing, though. Morbid and depressing. If you're one of those people that gets easily depressed and you want to, like, put a gun to your head, don't watch The Hospital because it's very... He's, as I recall, it's been a long time since I've seen it. He was like an alcoholic, you know. And, of course, anybody that has seen what goes on in most hospitals probably is ready to become a alcoholic or a druggie or something anyway. And, of course, what better place to find good drugs?
Right.
Now, what are these very important faxes that are coming in? It's the schedule for next week. My name's on it. And they got my name on there on Monday, which is Victoria Day in Canada, which I guess I got to work. I sure hope they don't have my name on the following Monday, because I will not be on. George will be on, which is a good thing. Isn't it damn good I told you this morning?
Yeah, good. That's the word for it.
Well, I mean, you could take that day off and I could work, but it's not going to happen. What? What are you laughing about? I've done that before for you. Like at Goyish holiday time,
sure.
At Christmas and various times. I've worked in, you know.
So I can worship Jesus.
That's right. So you can go to church and you can spend all your money and put it in a plate when they pass it around and, you know, help them pay off all those lawsuits with all the child molesters. I think when we come back after the break, we ought to have like a long medley. Not that it's Friday and I'm looking toward 2 o'clock because I get accused of that from some of these Ojan provocateurs out there from some of these playing in the audience. What?
I think it's a huge idea.
A Mo segment. Since it's our salute to Boca Brian, by the way, who can't get paid by the Beasleys, by this NASDAQ Stock Exchange-listed company, the Beasleys, BBGI my ass. 10-14 will be on the poll. We got over 1,000. Miguel can rest easy, because, boy, would that have been embarrassing or what? That was humiliating.
From 10 to 2 on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Friday, you bastard.
Now, see here. I ain't never said door. I'm getting very annoyed about me saying doy. I ain't never said doy. You said that I doy, then they ought to pay me by the doy. Doy, 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 doy. Doy, 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 doy. Doy, 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 doy. Doy, 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 doy. Doy, 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 doy.
Ain't got no job! I'm an unemployed slob! I'm the voice of the panther!
I'm getting tired of hearing it everywhere I go.
You always say doy.
I don't say doy. But this woman I will listen to by my Hawaii at last. Now it gets a little peace and quiet over here.
Hiya, Mo.
What are you doing here in Honolulu?
When I heard you were here, I flew right over and dressed up like Connie Stevens. Just for you.
Well, you're forcing me to do this.
Huh?
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure.
Doi, doi, doi. Doi, doi. Doi, doi, doi. Doi, 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 doi. It's been brought to my attention that your ratings are dying now. Well, that ought to show you what a big asset I was to you, and how. You thought you could find somebody good enough to fill my baggy pants? It ain't easy. There ain't no chance I'll ever be coming back. Outside of considering a lucrative contract. If you want to know what'll save you from shutting that transmitter down, why, that's easy. Sure.
All you need is more. All you need is more. All you need is a show. He's their old time slot and only got you to thank. Despite that, my ratings have bottomed out in this tank. Sports radio has a revolving door for the gayest of the whores and squeaky shots. All you need is more.
Now, see here.
All you need is more. All you need is a show.
You light away something. Jack told me to give you this.
What?
See? What are you going to do, fire me, huh?
Like old times.
Hey, Pharrell.
What?
By the way, son, I've been giving it some thought, see? Well, what do you think it is? I knows that me and you can do much better going 6 to 10 and not at 5, a Gentile and a cranky Jew. I think we might be happy together.
I think you really gone out of your mind. You gotta have your wee-wee bag strapped on too tight. No chance I'll do a show with you. I'd rather die. We'd be crappy together.
Why, I'll have you know that I'm a big mocking Jew from Brooklyn Heights. I've been raped by everybody but you. You're not my type.
Me and Mo, that would blow. No way that if we had a fight that you'd survive. Who'd want to hear a genitile in pushy tight? That's crappy together.
Doy, 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 a show with you and me, for me, is much better 6 to 10, not 5. It's only right that I should get more sleep at night. I think we might be happy together. Happy together.
What do they be
I am Mohowitz, David, decrepit and I'm ancient. All over my old face are blue and reddish purple veins. I don't know why they hate me, or why they always rate me. It must be 'cause I got these blue and reddish purple veins. A vein pop on my arm like a Rand McNally Napalakawat. I got veins on my nose and nobody knows that under my clothes I wear pantyhose. But that don't mean that I'm gay. If you think my arms are bad, you ought to see my legs. I might as well keep them smooth and shaved to show a little class the next time I'm raping it. I could go to a surgeon, but that gives me the shivers. I would not want to walk out looking like Joan Rivers. Where am I? I fired the beast, the fat little freak. I did him a favor. Now he can't afford to eat. The reason I dismissed that stinking fat bastard is because he wouldn't shut up and he can't play canasta. Hey, somebody talking over there. Nobody talks when I rap. I rap, then you talk. Hey, look at me. I'm hip, hip. I ain't no square. I'm a ding-dong daddy, man. I'm really dead. I fire anyone I want. I don't care. Especially if they make me flip my wig made of smelly green hair. I got fired myself. It even happens to the greats. Westman once said, you get out of here or else we break your legs. So now I sit by the pool. Life's as good as it gets. With my paladin cocktail, placing bets on the Jets. In paradise. Paradise. I don't kiss nobody's ass in paradise. I'll be schlepping down the Spoogans when I get the chance, but the cleaners aren't ready with my lime green pants. How long does that take? Guilty calling complaint. It was just a little thought, so what I left to stain. You think that's funny? Want a knuckle sandwich, buddy? I can do what I want, because the management loves me.
Gonna tell you something, Mo? Something you ought to know. For the longest time, I wanted you to be my hoe.
You ain't my type, pal. Now answer straight. Pal, no. What are you doing?
I won't take no for an answer.
Get out of here. Not you.
Get out of here. Get up, bitch.
Now, would that have made him, if he was wearing that really nasty piece, the extra nasty one, a nappy-headed hoe? Ooh. That would have been bad. Don't want to be calling Mo. No nappy-headed hoe, I'll tell you that. 1029 in the pool, 1,029 votes. That's not too bad. I kind of enjoyed that. That
was fun.
Segment every
Got
now
a lot of work
wasn't
done.
It? And, of course, you know me. I'm just mailing it in. You know,
right.
the Miami palm tree guy who doesn't have a name or an identity, probably doesn't know how to, make a real profile, alleged. He sends me this Dan LeBastard blog thing from, I don't know how long ago, and ripping everybody on the station, including me, and I'm mailing it in, is the line in there. As if I really care what they're going to say. Like they're going to say something good about any of us. Mailing it in. And you know whose favorite line that is?
I give up who?
Defoe. Defoe, speaking of getting stabbed in the back.
Hi there, you bastard. All right.
Janice Popinski, woman or a man, now that time for chronic concentration camp. You replace the torture at Hussein's apple bread with the better way to rape and torture instead. now something that we know they did not do. Push a Nazi occupation. Now we're all screwed.
Absolutely.
Janice Kopinski, let that freedom ring. And tie electrolyte barbed wire to their thing. Take those naked inmates, stack them in a pile. There's a Kodak moment to say cheese and smile. Oh, we're seeing all that rapish force first. Investing new atrocities more far. Like Nuremberg, you only follow orders. Look what we've become.
Oh my God.
Janice Kopinski, smelly fat bullseye, wrapped in her black rubber on a Saturday night.
All right.
146 at 560 WQAM. Tribute to Boca Brian today, who's having a hell of a time getting paid by the Beasleys. What?
I was just howling.
Oh, howling what?
Howling.
Oh, I thought maybe he had some big news, like maybe he got paid.
No.
Or maybe he got laid. I don't know. Which would be better?
Well,
which would be more,
how much and
more
who?
likely?
Right.
Which would be more likely? Certainly not the paid part.
I think he does all right.
Well, good for him. Thank God for that, okay? If you can't get paid, at least get laid. Jerry Falwell's deal with the devil. You know, if I started now, this article would take me till midnight, but luckily for Miguel, who hates when I read, we had limited time. Robert Perry and the Smirking Chimps. So I'll just read enough of it to get you pissed off, and then you can read the rest on our website.
That's what I'll do.
No, you won't.
No.
Did you ever read a story on our website ever in the history of your life?
How many do you think I have? Oh! That's correct.
I know. Well, that's because you're not a newsy guy. You're more into like hoochie coochie, you know.
That is correct, too.
Well, good. The Reverend Jerry Falwell's death will elicit scores of eulogies on the good, the tell. Well, you know me, I'm just mailing it in. Don't you understand? That's what MIFO would tell you, and those guys over who pretend to be broadcasters, most of whom are not, even close. I'm just mailing it in. The Reverend Jerry Falwell's death will elicit scores of eulogies on the good the televangelist did, even while acknowledging some hurtful actions, such as blaming gays and civil libertarians for 9/11. But there's another little-known chapter of Falwell's career, his collaboration with a Korean cult leader bent on transforming the U.S. into a theocracy. Like other prominent Republican figures, Falwell entered into a behind-the-scenes alliance with the Reverend Sun Myung Moon, even as the self-proclaimed Messiah was denouncing America as Satan's harvest and vowing to incorporate the U.S. into a worldwide theocratic empire that would eradicate all individuality. Falwell sought to conceal his relationship with Moon, sometimes denying falsely that he had benefited from Moon's financial help or he had been photographed with the cult leader. Other times, Falwell sought to justify his acceptance of Moon's largesse. If the American Atheist Society or Saddam Hussein ever sent an unrestricted gift to any of my ministries, Falwell said in response to a question about Moon's financial assistance, be assured I'll operate on Billy Sunday's philosophy, the devil's had it long enough, and quickly cashed a check. Falwell's acceptance of Moon's mysterious money was first disclosed at consortiumnews.com in the fall of '97. In a pattern common to Moon's financial operations, the Korean cult leader stepped in when a leading American conservative, in this case Falwell, was facing potential ruin. In 1995, the jewel of Falwell's life's work, Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, was facing bankruptcy. Then, seemingly out of the blue, money became available through a small nonprofit organization to buy up a large chunk of the school's debt. On January 28, 1995, a beaming Reverend Falwell told his old-time Gospel Hour congregation news that seemed heaven-sent. Falwell hailed two Virginia businessmen as the financial saviors of debt-ridden Liberty University. They had to borrow money, hock their houses, hock everything, Falwell said, even hock a Chinik. Thank God for friends like Dan Reber and Jimmy Thomas, he said. Falwell's congregation rose as one to applaud. The star of the moment was Daniel Reber, who was standing behind Falwell. Thomas wasn't there. Reber and Thomas earned Falwell's public gratitude by excusing the fundamentalist Christian college of about half of its $73 million debt. In the late 80s, that flood of red ink had forced Falwell to abandon his moral majority political organization, and the debt nearly drowned Liberty University in bankruptcy. Reber and Thomas had come to Falwell's rescue in the nick of time. Their nonprofit Christian Heritage Foundation of Forest, Virginia, had bought a large portion of Liberty's debt for $2.5 million. Just a fraction of its face value. Thousands of small religious investors who'd invested in church construction bonds through a Texas company were the big losers, but Falwell shed no tears. He told local reporters that the moment was the greatest single day of financial advantage in the school's history. Left unmentioned in the happy sermon was the identity of Falwell's real guardian angel, the person who actually was protecting Falwell's financial interests. Falwell's secret benefactor was Reverend Moon, who was the controversial idiot with many fundamentalist Christians because of his strange biblical interpretations and his brainwashing tactics that have torn thousands of young people from their families. By the mid-1990s, Moon had also grown harshly anti-American. So covertly, Moon helped bail out Liberty University through one of his front groups, which funneled $3.5 million to the Reber Thomas Christian Heritage Foundation, the nonprofit group that had purchased the school's debt. I discovered this Moon-Falwell connection while looking for something else, how much Moon's Women's Federation for World Peace had paid former President George Herbert Walker Bush for a series of speeches in Asia in '95. I obtained the Federation's Internal Revenue Service records, but discovered that Bush's undisclosed speaking fee was buried in a line item of $13.6 million for conference expenses. There was, however, a listing for a $3.5 million educational grant to the Christian Heritage Foundation. A call to the Virginia Corporate Records Office confirmed that the foundation was the one run by Reber and Thomas. I was able to learn about the secret Falwell-Moon relationship from a civil lawsuit that was on file in the Circuit Court of Bedford County, a community in southwestern Virginia. That evidence suggested that Falwell had solicited Moon's help. Two of Reber's former business associates alleged that Reverend Falwell flew to South Korea on January '94 on a 7-day secret trip to meet with representatives of the Unification Church. The court document said Reber and Falwell were accompanied to South Korea by Ron Godwin, who had been executive director of Falwell's Moral Majority before signing on as vice president of Moon's Washington Times. And, of course, there's always Kakamoon. It goes on. It's a long story, and, most people don't care about it because Jerry Falwell was a man of God and all that other crap, or, he was a right-wing hate monger, and, all depending on where your ass is sitting. On which side of the fence you're pushing it on. 1,047 votes today. Not too shabby, Miguel. You done good. Well, okay, not great.
Anytime.
You're no Chris.
No.
1047 is our total. What's the worst thing you ever got sucked into in life, in the history of your life? Getting married, 28.8%, 302 people. But at least under 30, under 29%. Gives you hope. A religion, well, not you, George. Religion, 187. My job, 137. Supporting the war in Iraq, 130. The stock market before it crashed, 115. Going to college or grad school, 44. The Atkins diet, 44. And that's because they're weak like me, and they probably were eating pizza and pasta and ice cream and cakes and cookies and candy. All of these things. MySpace, they got sucked into, 42. Joining the military, 36. And parenthood, soltanto 10. 10. Why is it that, I don't know. I'm getting away from the Spanish numbers, getting more into Italiano. Because when I move to Rome next week, I'm going to mangia, and then I'll be dead. But at least I have a big smile on my puss when I move to Rome.
Miami town. Yes. At 560 WQAM.
Ain't no fart sounds anymore. Ain't no fun sounds like before. Ain't no fart sounds anymore. 'Cause some stinky corporate whore named Joyce took them away. Can't say now. All because of some bitch cow. Just to bring the ratings down. She don't want Neil around. And that's why she took them away. And she blows, 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 you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow, she blows, 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 she stinks, 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 she blows, she blows, she blows, she blows, she stinks, you blow, you blow, you blow, you blow. You blow, you blow, you blow. Ain't no fart sounds anymore. Since that yeast infected whore, Skanky Joyce took them away. Skanky Joyce took them away.
Oh my God.
Bye, bye, bye.